What's going on? I am Nando.
And I'm DJ, you dumbasses.
And I'm Diggins, what?
And this is Mostly Nitpicking, a podcast where every week we pick apart a piece of pop culture by looking exclusively at the details. Woohoo!
Yeah! DJ's back 2.0. I got my training. I got my 50 caliber gun. I got my taser. I'm here
my
to
God,
go.
the return of DJ. Yeah, that's right.
All right, it is DJ.
Yeah,
That's
was
what
something.
I told you.
This was something we talked about a lot on our original Meg Pod. Was how much DJ was upset with the character DJ being pointless, and they took it to heart. They really listened.
They listened to
They
me.
really listened, and they made sure he was still pointless, but he had more lines.
Yeah.
But cool. I am fine
Cool.
with pointless and cool.
Yeah.
Very clear.
Now, you guys, we're going to talk about the Meg 2, The Trench, in a second. But first, some news. Speaking of pointless and cool, I don't know if you guys saw this. This is an interesting story. We haven't really talked about this before. Did you guys know about all the Spider-Verse stuff?
The
No.
working conditions?
Well, I mean, this is probably a product of the working conditions. But did you guys know that if you went to the theater on Monday and then went to the theater on Thursday, you might see a slightly different movie?
I heard about this.
Yes.
I heard
So-
about this.
Yeah, now that the DVD or VOD version of it is out, people have gone through it all and gone like, okay, see, in this one he has this face, and in this one he has this face, and this one he has this line, and this one he has this line. Have you guys come across any of that? Or
No, that I have not seen.
I haven't like looked at the specifics, but I knew it had happened.
yeah, so like there's a lot of things, and they're so small, it's baffling. Like, for instance, at one point, remember when, I don't remember, well, maybe you don't remember when Ben Reilly gets Miles in his grasp during the escape scene, and do you guys remember what he says in that moment?
No.
I don't remember what he says. I remember what we're talking about.
So he says something in one of the versions, he says something to the effect of like, I have you trapped within my well-defined musculature, or something like that.
Okay, I remember
But
that.
apparently that was not the only line that was in that version of the movie. There's a different line where he talks about, like, I don't know, webs or something, some Spider-Man bullshit. The biggest one that I saw, I don't know if you guys can remember this much, but do you remember the order of events right before Miles does electricity powers to Miguel on the train? Do you remember like what he says?
No.
Because this is a big like kind of Mandela effect for certain people. Okay. So
Oh, wait, hold on. I think I do. He's like,
okay.
people keep trying to tell me how my story is supposed to go. Nah, I'm going to do my own thing.
Yes. Unless you watch the other version where he says all that stuff and then says goodbye, Miguel, and then blasts him out. But like, it's definitely that first one. What you described is what he actually says in the movie. But like, these changes are so minor. I don't understand it. Why do you think they happened?
I don't know. Was it a mistake? Did they release, like, was the one the pre-final and then the other one was the final? Like, it seems odd.
That would make sense for some of them. For some of them, I think it would make less sense.
Like, if their point was, oh, we're going to have a multiverse of, like, the movies, the multiverse, or different versions. It's cute, but, like, doesn't feel worth it.
It's definitely not worth it if you leave the movie not knowing you watched the different one.
Yeah.
Like if Ben Reilly was replaced by like another Spider-Man adjacent character, who else? What else is like? Who are his other guys? I don't know. Spider-Boy, the new Spider-Man character that they just introduced. Like if that was just a different character and it's like, oh yeah, you watched the him version, that'd be kind of interesting. But not this, not the one where it's like you watch the version of where he has 4 lines on his forehead instead of 2.
Yeah.
But for some reason, both versions exist.
That feels like an awful amount of extra work also.
Yeah, that's how movies are these days.
Like, do we have confirmation of why this is? Like, it
No.
was,
No idea.
So
Parts of it do seem like unfinished effects or like effects that weren't fully done, right? Like there's one bit where Miles is, so spoilers for the movie. I know we've kind of been talking about it kind of generally, but this one is like the big spoiler for the movie. For Spider-Verse, one version of Miles' version 42 has braids and one doesn't. So it seems like maybe they were like not ready on all of the bits of his character, so they just kind of threw the one without the braids into the first cut, and then once they were able to animate them, put them in the second cut. I don't know. It's fascinating.
Huh.
Is
really
there
weird.
any movie you would like them to do this with?
Oh, zero. I think this is a horrible practice, and it should not be done.
See, like, I'm 50-50 on it. I think I would like it if there was a bad CGI thing in a movie, and then they took another pass. I'm trying to think of a good example.
I'm gonna feel shitty that I did not get the proper movie.
You got like the same movie, but just they gave you the slightly more finished version if you came and saw it later.
Yeah, but I'm paying the same amount. Like, I don't know. Be like going to a play and like you go just like a random show. It's like, oh, the set's like not exactly done yet.
Right.
It's
yeah.
Like, still we're working this part.
You're seeing Avengers Endgame in previews or something, and like you got the scene where like Thor's hammer doesn't look quite right,
Yeah.
but they'll fix it in the real one. Yeah.
Or like the Cats thing that happened, where you could have seen the first cut, where you can see
buttholes.
Judy Dench's ring.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
that's
right.
right. They did that with that. And like
the buttholes.
the buttholes, I mean,
The buttholes were never real, as much as
Okay.
we all wished.
apparently something approximating a butthole was there, but yeah. Yeah, I
It was
don't
like
know.
some kind of graphical glitch in an early version, but that was never released.
Like, okay, let's say the Judi Dench's ring thing, because that is an example. Let's say it was in a scene and it ruined that scene. They should get to fix it, right? Maybe? I don't know.
But it's like that.
Did anything in Cats ruin a scene?
I'm just saying for
more than-
the effect of... I'm trying to think of like a good version of this. What's the worst special effect in a movie with otherwise good special effects? Do these exist?
I'm sure they do.
Like,
I'm not thinking of
The big
right
one
now.
is like the well, it was never corrected, but the mustache removal from Justice League.
Yeah, that's a
Like,
good one.
But that was it forever. They never like fixed it.
Right, but like what if they could have fixed it?
Well, but Nando, what you're asking me is, do I want more Star Wars special editions? The
Yeah,
answer
but
is
Yeah.
no. I don't.
see, like I guess I don't want more Star Wars special editions, but I do feel like if you make a movie and you have a bad special effect in it, and everybody agrees like that's not what it's supposed to look like, I think you should be able to fix it and then put out the correct version.
I think your movie comes out and it's done. You're done with it. That's what it is.
I
And,
agree.
like,
Warts
if
and
you didn't-
all.
If you didn't finish something on time, well, then you should have budgeted your time better.
Because then,
yeah.
how far is this going to go? Are they going to be versions with like new ADR? We're like, oh wait, actually, we should put a line in based off like let's go back to Justice League. If like people didn't like something the Flash said, it's like, oh, get Ezra Miller and we'll have them like ADR another line to make this shit make sense. Like, I don't want this to be what movies are now.
Well,
It's fun that they're imperfect sometimes. Look at the Meg 2. Its imperfections are maybe someone would argue that they're fun.
maybe we'll find out soon, but yeah, that's the only news of the week, I guess, because there's not really any other news because the strike's still going on. I keep hearing news that's like the strike's almost over, and then the people that are striking are like, that's not true, Variety lied to you. So I don't know what's
Yeah,
going on.
Variety keeps printing stuff that the AMPTP leaks to them.
Yeah.
That's like them trying to do PR, and everyone immediately goes like, that's not true. So I'm like, I don't think this is working, guys.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I'll just be done. It'll be done when, I don't know, Fran Drescher tells me it's done. And until that,
It'll
not
be
a
done
moment
when-
before.
It'll be done when somebody who shouldn't do the thing I'm about to say, when somebody finally goes in and just like, in Minecraft, takes care of all of the AMPTP executives. So that new people come in and, who are slightly more sensible.
Yeah, that would be good. And then it will be done. But also, maybe the AI will have taken over by then, and then the AI will just do it. I don't know.
We could have like Baldur's Gate 3 write all the things.
We
They're
could have
probably
that.
on it.
Oh my God. Could you imagine if we found out like there was all kinds of AI bullshit in Baldur's Gate 3? There's not.
I'd be very sad.
I know. I'd be like, you just can't. Although that does feel like what they would use AI for, you know? Like there'd just be so many quests that they'd have AI generate a couple of them, and you do quests, and it would be like, I don't think this game has cell phones in it, but this guy really wants like something that's not referenced in Baldur's Gate 3, so this must be one of them AI quests that doesn't work. I don't know. But you guys, speaking of AI, is AI in this at all? Is it even referenced?
Somehow no. So. Somehow there's no sub with like, oh, it'll use the AI to track the Megs. But or if instead of a clicker, the guy was like, oh, I got an AI thing to talk to it.
Yeah, I guess like I could see Meg 3 being AI. Use AI to police the Megs, and then in the end of it, the AI decides to go rogue or something. They're in the beginning, I guess, and then it unites the Megs to destroy America or something, or China probably. These movies kind of are on the track they're on, but yeah, no AI in this movie. But there were Megs, so we got to talk about the Meg 2, The Trench.
Yes,
fascinating that they made this movie.
Right.
Came out the same week as that other movie, The Voyage of the Demeter. Another boat but worse movie. What's with boats this week?
Well, boats you know that one submarine blew up and imploded, rather, and we were all like, we want to know more about voyages at sea that go bad.
Right? What if there was teeth at sea? Teeth above water, teeth below water.
The movie Teeth?
Or the movie Teeth. Yeah, maybe you have to watch the movie Teeth at sea as well. Any of those. But yeah, we'll talk about it. Not that movie, but we'll talk about the Meg's teeth at least. No vampire teeth in this movie. Did not watch Last Voyage of the Demeter, but I've heard it is fine. So the end of that. But Diggins, you're the IMDb person for this week. Meg 2.
That's true. So, guys, if you've never listened to this podcast before, then you wouldn't know that. Welcome. Wow. I really hope we haven't already lost you, but we probably have.
Yeah. Abandon all hope. What the podcasts usually start with. Yeah.
But so every week we do a little game called the IMDb, B as in spelling bee, where my two esteemed co-hosts try to guess what the IMDb summary for this movie is. Now, you might be asking yourself, where does IMDb get its summaries from? Well, I'll tell you.
No, we're not gonna. That was so fun.
We probably didn't, and you're hearing me say this right now, but we should have.
If I can see the little spike on the thing, I'll edit it out.
But
if
it's
it doesn't
fun
come up, then maybe not.
Maybe it's Meg related. Oh my god, is it the thermocloud or whatever the fuck they call it?
Thermocline.
Yeah,
don't say things. Don't say things that are wrong in parts we're gonna edit out. Okay. You might be wondering, where does IMDb get those summaries from? Well, I'll tell you. You see, millions upon millions upon millions of years ago, before the Earth even existed, and the universe was just swirling dusts of matter slowly collecting together as the stars formed. In that miasma of creation, there were words, the words of God that had been spoken into existence at the very moment the universe was made. And those words got stuck in some of the clumps of matter that were coming together and eventually formed planets, stars, everything that we know of as being in the universe today. Now, millions upon millions upon millions of years later, John IMDb one day was prospecting by an active volcano that had erupted recently. And as he was sifting through the ash and the rubble, he found one of these primordial words of God, having been ejected from the core of the earth by the force of the volcanic eruption. And when he picked up this primordial word of God and held it up to his ear, it whispered the secrets of every movie that would ever be released to him. So he took it back to IMDb.com headquarters, a website he had just founded, but was at the risk of going bankrupt because of their inability to come up with summaries for all the movies. And he wrote down everything that the primordial word of God was whispering to him, which provided them with summaries for every movie that would ever be released. Some say John IMDb is still writing summaries down to this day because of how many movies that would be. But regardless, I have the whispering from the primordial word of God for Meg 2, The Trench, right here. And it's not great. It's I don't think it's inaccurate, but it's incomplete. And if any of you get the last 3 words of this summary precisely, then you instantly win.
Oh, wow.
Because they're so good.
They're just too good. That is not what I expected you to say. So I'm really thinking through this one.
Oh, but DJ, I believe, as last week's loser, you get to decide who goes first.
Yeah, I want to go first because I want to go for these tasty, tasty words. Okay. All right. Let's see. Marine biologist Jonas, last name, whatever his last name, must stop 3 megalodons before they can begin their quest to feast on humanity.
Okay.
Are you gonna tell me if I get, because the instant win, right? Or are you not?
You did not get the instant win.
Ah, damn.
All right, I'm gonna say 3. Well, no, I'm not gonna do the number. The number's not important. A team led by a team of scientists. I'm not gonna say Jonas. I'm gonna say a team of scientists researching prehistoric I don't know, shark monsters, dinosaurs, aka megalodons, runs into trouble when things don't go as planned, and Meg gets him. I don't know.
Oh, well, neither of you got the instant win, and you both also did really bad.
Damn it.
We both did really bad.
It's tough, yeah, because even as I was saying it, I was like, well, this isn't the movie, but also, what is the movie? In my head, I couldn't even remember what the order of events were. I watched this yesterday.
The biggest problem that you guys have is that you thought this movie was about megalodons.
Yeah,
son of a bitch. God damn it.
Does not come up.
What, do you have a tiebreaker?
I have a tiebreaker in mind.
Right.
I'm going to give you 2 of the 3 words at the end, and you guys have to tell me what the first word is, because I'm going to give you the last 2.
Okay.
Because there's an adjective that modifies the last 2 words. So I'm going to read it, and I'm going to leave out that one word.
Okay.
So the actual summary, minus that one word, is a research team encounters multiple threats while exploring the depths of the ocean, including a blank mining operation. So, DJ, you get to go first. It's an adjective that modifies mining operation.
A blank, like including a blank. Is that right?
Including a blank mining operation is the last clause. Yes.
God. I'm gonna go with clandestine.
Nope.
Okay, I got one. I'm gonna say dastardly.
You're closer, Nando.
Okay.
Oh. All right. Well, I'm gonna go over the top rope. Evil.
Right direction, but not correct.
I'm gonna say sinister.
You guys are circling around it.
Fuck.
Circular.
Fuck.
No.
Well, DJ gets a guess.
Are we gonna keep going? Is this our last one?
I have another guess, so let's do one more guess each.
Can we do 2? I actually have 2.
We can do 2.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. We said dastardly. We said evil.
You guys are on the right
said
track.
you had 2.
You don't have the right.
I know. All right. I got it. A corrupted.
No.
A fiendish mining operation.
No.
Fuck.
Okay, for the final guess from both of you, I'm going to give you one more clue.
Okay.
part of what makes it so funny is that it's alliterative.
So, oh my God! Can I say it?
It's your guess first.
Malevolent.
Okay, Nando, what's your guess?
I was gonna say, well, part of me want to say like megalorific, but it's not that. You said malevolent. I mean, malevolent's pretty good. What's another word for evil with M in it?
Malevolent. It's the only
that's
one.
probably
I'm pretty
the
sure
good
I got
one.
it. I feel really bad.
Well, either I get it or I don't. So I don't know. Malfeasance.
Ooh, malfeasant. Ooh.
Now, it could have been malicious, which is similar to
that's a good
malevolent,
one.
but isn't malevolent. However, it is malevolent.
Yeah, baby.
I don't think that should count as the win then.
I actually feel really bad because I feel like you gave it to me, Diggins, because when you said alliterative, I didn't think malicious, because I don't think, because we said evil and stuff. That's why I'm like,
Yeah.
malevolent. Is there trivia? Is
listen,
there?
you
Do
guys
you have any other tiebreakers?
Multiple chances to guess before
That's true.
I gave that hint.
And we
Well,
were
yeah,
circling
but-
the wagons.
Whoever gets the hint first then just wins in this situation. I'm just saying that's what I think Roger, a wise
I actually
Roger
agree
would
with
say.
Nando, even though I won, because I'm a good person,
Mhm.
and this should just give me the karma to win no matter what the result is. But I do agree with Nando.
I mean, listen, you can make us guess actors' names, and I got one answer for you. And then we're going to be out of options. That's not true. I know 2 actors in this movie, but that's it.
Okay. There is one scene in this movie. So, first of all, these movies are based on books. Unbelievable.
Get the fuck out. No way.
No, they're not.
They're
Coloring
both
books?
based on books.
What kind of book? I need to read these books.
I wish I was joking.
Yeah, no, I believe you. I'm almost positive I knew the first one was. I did not think they wrote 2, but now I'm like, why not? Write 50. This is they write themselves. This is what the AI is involved in. It's probably a guy that's cool.
AI
I
might
don't
have
know.
written this movie, by the way.
Yeah.
Just throwing that out there.
There is one scene in this movie that is from the first book, not from the second book.
Jesus Christ.
Which scene is it? So DJ gets to go first.
Are we going like back and forth again?
I guess
Yeah.
so.
Each get 3 guesses.
Is it okay? It'd have to be something so generic that they would have just like plopped in. Like, it can't be anything integral to the plot, just a little fun side thing. Is it like the helicopter scene where the little dinos are chasing him and the guy's like spraying gas everywhere?
Nope.
That
It's not that.
Okay. So it's got to be one of 2 things then, in my head.
Say both and then guess, and then I'll take the other one.
And honestly, for me, part of this is like, can I remember what happens in like?
That's
am I
the
willing?
biggest part of this
Am I
challenge.
willing to bet DJ will be able to remember some of these scenes? But I'll say that the sea walk, the underwater, like
Ooh, that's a good one.
that scene is not from or is in the first book.
Incorrect.
Okay, I have another guess, and we'll see if it makes it. But yeah, DJ.
Yeah, 2 more guesses each.
Oh my God. Is it the stupid, like, see, I know nothing about these books, but, you know, fuck it. Is it the part where he has to, like, fucking depressurize himself by blowing all the air out of his nose and that bullshit, which I'm sure we'll talk about?
Nope, it is not.
Damn.
Is it okay? God damn it! See, now I have to pick between 2 because I remembered there's another one.
Well, you get 2 more guesses total.
I know, but when I say one, I think DJ might take the other one. I'm going to say the scene where he infiltrates the boat. That first scene of him doing his stuff.
Incorrect.
How many more guesses do we have?
You have 1 more guess each.
Can we each get 2?
No. We're running out of scenes in this movie.
Because I have 2. That's the only reason why I say it.
All right, we'll say one of them, and I'll say mine, and then we'll see if we even need the second one.
Because all right. I want to go with what I'm more confident in. Is it the, okay, I don't know if it's like a scene, but I'm going for it. Is it like the girl sabotaging the sub? Is that
incorrect?
Is it the intro in like a million BC?
That is correct, Nando.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
That's why I didn't want to say either of the beginning ones. So I was like, oh, he'll say the other one. But I was like, one of them has to be it.
Damn it.
Yeah, that feels right. That makes sense for these movies. The billion BC
I
bit.
forgot that happened. All right, so what's the final
time? I was
tiebreaker?
trying to hide.
What? Nando got it right.
Well,
what do you mean? What's the final tiebreaker?
But I got malevolent. Like
You're the one who suggested that shouldn't count.
Because I'm like a good person, right? Like,
well, then you got to learn that nice guys finish last. DJ Nando is our winner.
I mean, listen, if it was an off balance thing and I had gone first and I guessed it, then maybe I would say that. But I just this feels fair since you both had the same number of guesses. Especially since I went second. I don't know. Unless Diggins has an amazing tiebreaker, I think I did win.
Listen, there's not much trivia for this movie.
Well, I guess good on Nando for remembering that part of the movie, which I literally forgot about.
It was in every single trailer, DJ. I don't know what to tell you.
So I didn't watch a single trailer for this movie because I was like, I don't want to spoil it for myself.
The trailers were horrible. They spoiled everything.
Oh, good. I'm glad that I didn't see it then.
The trailers were mostly the last third of this movie.
Of course.
Well, yeah, because that is the part you would show. And I did hear people describing certain things that happen. And I'm like, well, that sounds too much fun. I don't want to see that.
The only thing Michelle told me, because she knew I was doing this, she's like, was that the trailer where they played like Hearts Barracuda? And I'm like, probably.
That's right.
Is that? Yep. There we go. There we go.
Was that in this? No, right? What was the song that he does his little wake up? In the box too.
It wasn't Barracuda, but
no, it wasn't. It was like more of it was like a Beatles song or something like that.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
I wake up in the morning.
Yeah, there was a little bit of music in this movie. It wasn't a super musical movie, but that's a shame. That's what it was missing.
Well, I feel robbed, and I think the listeners should go back and be like, DJ was a really good person, and because he was a really good person, this should karma me like, I don't know, 3 wins in the future. So just remember that, Nando. And then
you get 2 good boy points for use when you get to heaven.
Oh no.
Fucking let's
go. Now there's going to be a good boy point tracker in the Discord. This is bad. This is not what we need.
Yeah, don't tell the listeners we have more points.
Good boy points. I like that.
Good boy points is not a mostly nitpicking thing. It's a Christian thing.
Yeah.
Good boy points are what you get that you can use in heaven. They're the currency there.
Other religions also have good boy points, but they just don't all cross over exactly the same way. Yeah, exactly.
That's true. Yeah.
It sucks because if you that's why you don't change religions, because then you can restart your good boy points at 0.
Yeah,
because
they're not
Muslim ones don't exactly. So it's like it sucks. It's not good. But speaking of that, I get to say what I thought of the Meg, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh wait, no, I have to summarize
first DJ.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, DJ.
No,
start.
listen,
I'll give you a hint. It starts in 1000 BC.
Much further back, millions and millions of years ago. Mm-hmm. Also, guys, I got to be very clear here. This movie is not The Meg 2. It is Meg 2: The Trench.
Right.
Also, I actually feel pretty good about this because all the things that happen are so nonsensical that I feel like if it's out of order and doesn't make any sense, then you, listener, will have the same experience as us who watch the movie. So I feel pretty good about it.
Okay.
Apparently, the movie opens with a Tyrannosaurus Rex eating a Meg. It doesn't matter.
No, other way around.
That would be so weird.
Oh wait, my bad. Yeah, Meg. Yeah. The
Tyrannosaurus Rex eats something else. It follows another dinosaur onto the shore.
We do a whole like cycle thing where there's a dragonfly that gets eaten by a lizard, that gets eaten by an amphibious monster, that gets eaten by a T-Rex, that gets eaten by a Meg.
Yeah, it's pretty sick. Then we're on like a fucking oceanic study place, marine study place. It's so cool, guys.
Well, hold on. You're skipping the part.
You're forgetting our super cool opening.
The Evergreen or whatever it was called. What was that boat we all thought was so funny a year ago? It's that tanker boat that got stuck in the Suez Canal.
Now,
oh my God, what was it called?
I think it was Evergreen or something like that.
Or Evergiven. I think
that was
that. In my defense, that scene literally does not matter for a summary of this. Like, if I were to pull up the Wikipedia plot summary for the Meg 2, that would not be on it because it adds literally nothing. Right?
You are correct that it is completely pointless, other than, I guess, letting us see how cool Jason Statham is.
Yeah.
But it does happen.
And you think like the way they're doing it, you're like, oh, so maybe like these people we're not going to. Although it does kind of set up a villain later on, not necessarily this guy, but like why
It
that
sets up
character doesn't
the
like him.
idea of a villain who shows up later.
But I did also think that they invented this way to get him out of the water using a plane. And I'm like, oh, okay. We're going to catch a Meg or something like that later in the movie. But then never again. We never see that happen again.
I just realized something. I had an aha moment. Why don't we just read like the Wikipedia plot summary?
I mean,
because it's more fun to berate you and get things wrong.
But also sometimes they don't do a good job. A lot of times they miss a bunch of things.
Also,
I mean,
honestly,
you're welcome to take it out and use it as a guide.
When movies are new, they don't always actually have them up yet.
Yeah, or they're really sparse so that they can avoid spoilers. Although I would imagine Meg 2-1 is pretty have all the important stuff.
Oh, it has nothing? Probably.
Yeah. But anyway, DJ, sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm just going to read the first paragraph, and then I'll let you guys decide if this is good. And then I'll do it by myself, but more proving a point. 5 years after the events of the first film, Jonas Taylor has been involved in fighting environmental crimes while also helping Man of One in exploring a further deep part of the Mariana Trench where the megalodon has been found. Following the death of Su Yin Zhang, Taylor has been raising her teenaged daughter, Mei Ying, alongside her uncle and Su Yin's brother, Juming Zhang, who has acquired his father's company alongside wealthy financier Hillary Driscoll. Man of One has also been studying a female Meg called Hai Chi, who was discovered as a pup and trained by Juming in a reserve in Hainan. Recently, Hai Chi has been acting erratically, leading to Taylor being concerned despite Juming's enthusiasm.
Yeah, this is honestly worse than if you just said it in your
sucks
recollection.
So
I'm
right? That's
I'm
awful.
so much a hard time following it, and I watched the movie.
I do have to commend you for getting the pronunciation of Hai Chi right, though.
Well, they say it a billion times in the movie, so at least, good. Like, that's good. That's because it's spelt right, Haiqi. So my dumb English brain would be like high key, but
this did bring up a question though. Your part of your summary.
Yeah.
Did the wife died in the last one?
No.
Okay,
not
cool.
wife
or whatever. Yeah, exactly. Mom of the kid. Yeah, but like, is that supposed to be the same character that Jason Statham was flirting with in the last one?
Yes.
Okay. Gotcha.
It's fucked, right? Super fucked.
So I've never seen the Meg one, but I went and read the plot summary and everything to figure out who these people were supposed to be. And several of them I were like, oh, they just weren't there? Great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, Rainn Wilson's in the first one. He gets fucking
and what's her
murked by a
name?
Meg.
And he dies. So sure. Ruby Rose is also in the first one, and she's
Yeah.
part of the guys, and she gets replaced by what's her name, I guess. So
apparently that was supposed to be Ruby Rose's character, and then it's just not.
Oh,
for no
really?
reason.
Weird.
Oh, cool. Fucking.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so all those things I said, right? Jonas is busting up freight ships, but also helping the team research the Mariana Trench and megalodons, right?
And they have a megalodon.
Yeah, they got
Super
one. Hai
important.
Chi.
We never saw him get it, but
Juming does clicks, and it makes him do good. Like he listens, but everyone's like, nah, it's a Meg.
She listens.
She
Megalodon's a
listens.
female.
God damn it, I'm canceled.
you don't speak megalodon. That's just what we identified her as.
That's true. We don't know. She doesn't self-identify her gender, if any. So
are megalodons supposed to be smart in this movie? Could you conceivably
There's no
speak to
way.
it in like a but I mean, in this movie, sometimes they'll be like, they actually have brains so smart that like what's his name? Like Paya Khan. Is this a Paya Khan situation, or are the Megs also like as smart as a dog or something?
I think they're just supposed to be big sharks. I don't think we're supposed to think that they're intelligent.
I think that's
sharks
probably
of
right.
varying size. All right, so that's all happening, right? And yeah, Juming is like bonded with this one, except now what happens to Hai Chi is that she, like, her eyes roll in the back of her head because she's being like summoned by the other megalodons. I think. I honestly had no idea what was going on.
Yeah,
here.
man, I missed all this.
Yeah, well, when the full moon rises, all megalodons are possessed by the spirit of megalodons past, who command them to go down into the trench and bone down.
I guess.
Yeah, you know what? That makes about as much sense as anything else.
It's like how eels only mate in one specific spot in the Sargasso Sea.
Yeah.
So anyway, what everything Diggins said commanded Hai Chi to like break out and bone down. As you do, right? As you do. So that happens, but like the guys don't know about it. So simultaneously, while they don't know about the bone down, they're like, hey, we're going to do one of our regularly scheduled, let's go check out the Mariana Trench excursions.
Well, this fucking broke my brain. Yeah. It's just like they don't even have a little fence or something to tell them the Meg is still there or not.
Yeah.
It's insane.
So they do their little Meg excursion and it all goes tits up. Okay, so there's 2 ships and a crew. They don't fucking matter. The only people that matter are Jason Statham, the little girl, and Ju Ming. And that's fucking it.
I want to say
the one other person lives.
That's true.
Sure. I mean, who cares? Right?
She is there. Yeah. Rigas, is that character's name?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. I was going to say that little kid, she gets a name and we say a name a lot in the movie, but I could not stop calling her Spritle because it's very Speed Racer, like sneak into the back of the Mach 5 before the big race kind of moment where she just pops out of a fucking submarine. Insane. Anyway.
I will just be calling her Child for the purposes of this.
That's fair.
So they're the dive team, and now we have 3 like surface people who are monitoring. We have DJ, the best character, Mac, who he's like mission control lead or whatever, and then evil girl.
Jess.
We don't know she's evil, but we learn.
Well, Jess, who has not been in the previous movie, but everyone acts like she's their old friend, and then later they're like, "Oh no, there's a traitor here. Could it be established character Mac, established character DJ, or random new person Jess? I don't know who could be the traitor."
Right, and in that moment, even before that, when someone's like, something happened where the thing was broken, like they don't see this, but the camera pans over to Jess, and she almost does one of those things where she pulls her collar and goes, "Oh boy!" Like, so it's pretty clear from minute 1 that Jess has been the bad guy the whole time. But yeah, nobody else seems to think it's possible. And there's a lot of people on the ship. At one point, someone's like, there's 80 guys. It could be anybody.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, you're right. There's a good chance we don't know that person.
I was ready for it. I was ready for them to be like, oh my God, it's Phil, the maintenance man. Like, I guess it is Phil, the maintenance man. That's super fucked.
I'm pretty sure we literally never see any of the people besides the ones we're talking about right now.
Yeah.
I don't think we see a single other member of that 80 person. I think they might say 30.
It's some number that's too many.
Comments in the Discord about how wrong we are because we're often wrong.
Diggins, no one saw this movie. I promise you, no one can correct us.
Yeah, we'll probably be okay. Actually, this movie did okay. I had trouble getting tickets to it, but I was kind of expecting to be alone in a theater, and there were plenty of,
That's true.
That's true. There were like upwards of 10 people in my theater today.
Way more than when I saw the first one with 0 people. That was one of the movies I saw by myself. And like this one, I think this one did pretty well this weekend. Not positive about this. I'm going to check. Anyway, so they're going on their little trip.
So they go on their little trip. It goes awry. They get split. But it's okay because, it's okay and it's not. So they crash and it's bad and the child is there, but they're like, Jonas is like, okay, I'm gonna get us out of here. Also, I didn't bring this up, and I'm just gonna say this is like kind of a boilerplate statement now. Ju Ming, who is like Jonas's best friend, whatever, little girl's uncle.
Little girl's uncle, Su Yin's brother.
Yep.
And like, wait, he was in the first one, right?
No. He's another character that at the beginning everyone talks about like, man, I remember when those characters from the first movie would talk about you all the time, guy who's always been here. And he's like, that's right. They would mention me constantly. But also, this is why I was gone.
You're right, because I guess this is what's his name was doing. This is what Rainn Wilson's job was.
Yes.
Was to be like kind of the
he
money
was the
man.
Investor. He was like, the capital. So Ju Ming is going to try and die a lot, but he will never die. He will try to die in a very heroic way to save Child, Jonas, and others. He will never die because he's amazing, and he's not allowed to die because he's the Chinese hero of this movie.
Yeah.
He's so great.
And he figures it out maybe 20 minutes towards the end of the movie. He's like, don't worry, you guys. I'll just jump through this helicopter blade or something. It's fine.
Yeah, he might as well look at the camera and do the Fast 9 Tyrese thing of I can't die.
I was gonna say he's Tyrese in Fast 9. He figures it out.
Yeah, but he does the key thing of not telling the audience that he's figured it out. He just does the things.
That's true.
Tyrese doesn't do anything with that information, which is why the movie's bad. Anyway, so they find this little like underwater station, which we're like, that's weird. We will soon learn it is the malevolent mining operation from the summary, the IMDb summary.
That's right.
I love the phrase malevolent mining operation. Like it's the mining operation itself is like wearing a big top hat and a mustache. Like those simple little scientists don't know what's coming to them when they reach me, the malevolent mining operation.
That mining operation isn't getting any good boy points. It's getting negative. It's going to have to give some good boy points back when it gets to mining hell or whatever.
That has to go on the out of context Twitter account. So yes, they have to do a sea walk, and there's like 8 of them, and they're all gonna die except for Jonas, Juming, Child, and the pilot
Regis, yeah.
Sure, man.
I kept thinking they were saying Regis, but they're not. It's Regis, I guess.
They all make it. There's a fun little character that I guess if you're me watching the movie, you go, "Oh, that's me." He goes to Comic-Con and is a big fucking nerd.
Yeah, I forgot about him.
So all the other characters could be like, "Wow, this guy likes comic books and superheroes? What a fucking loser, am I right?"
Yeah.
Oh my god. So he dies near instantly. So they get to the station. A lot of things happen in the space station.
Wait, hold on. Somebody's head explodes. Which character was this?
Oh,
I
God.
could not track this. Carter, was that their name? Curtis. Okay, yeah.
I'll save this for the nitpicking portion, but yeah, there's a lot to say with a lot of this underwater stuff.
I 100% thought it was Regis when it happened. But
Me
it was
too.
Curtis, apparently.
I thought it was the daughter. I was like, "Oh, awesome movie! That was the move." I didn't feel like something they would do, but I was like, "Wow, okay." I was really proud.
Well, no, first of all, no, you're on it. None of the Chinese characters can die.
Yeah, that's true.
I guess
they all
except for the
survived
tourists
the
at
movie.
the end, they're disposable. Like,
and we don't know where they're all from.
Yeah.
I feel like most of the the tourists who we like see like big screen time killed are all white.
Yeah, I want to say we got our the whitest character in this movie.
Oh
is
my
that
God.
that one tourist who has this little moment to jockey for
Like-
position in the Meg's mouth.
Like I think there are like extras in like some of the big like Meg meets a bunch of people scenes who might be of Asian descent, but I'm pretty sure all the people who get moments who are killed are white.
Nice. About time.
Yeah, we deserve it.
We deserve the shit.
I mean, I'm not saying we don't.
Yeah.
So, big takeaways from the mining operation. Those people die. We learn that Jess is evil.
Evil for who?
Oh, yeah.
We kind of skipped the beginning part.
For Hillary.
With Hillary's
Driscoll,
introduction.
The other funder of the ocean thing, who shows up very briefly at the beginning and then doesn't show up again until we find out she's evil.
The whole movie, I was like, "Oh, that's his wife from the first one." It's not. It's a different character too. All these characters, I'm just assuming that they're the same guy, but they're not.
It's wild that they're just running around, just being like, "It's fine. People figure it out. Don't worry about it."
Yeah,
it's just incredible, man. Okay, so takeaways from the malevolent mining operation. There's a guy, I guess, from the first movie who Jason Statham almost killed or something.
Well, not from the first movie. I'm saying he is in the past of the boats. Like Jason Statham has fucked over his boat. Like
the way he does
in the beginning.
He does
of this
thing what he does in the beginning to this guy a couple years ago.
I would assume, between Megs 1 and 2.
Right. So he's like, "I'm coming after you, Jason Statham."
Do you remember his name?
Even remember me? No.
It's Montez. A character who we referenced in our Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles episode, in the Workaholics episode that is named after Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's Montez's. I just kept thinking that every time that they said Montez, I'm like, that's not him. He looks different. But anyway, Montez is here.
So he's like, oh, Jonas, you piece of shit. I'm going to fucking kill you. I'm working for Hillary. We're going to dig up all the rare earth materials because they're worth a lot of money, you piece of shit.
That box right there, $1 billion.
And you're like, that's what it would have to be to justify this expense.
Yeah.
And they all fucking there's a big fight and then they all escape. There's some bullshit which we'll talk about in the nitpicking portion, I'm sure, with like depressurization, whatever. So that, and they all escape in highly improbable ways. Are the heroes via a sub and Montez via a fucking like balloon that he would have gotten the bends upon reaching the surface, but like whatever, it's fine.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you want to talk about people who would have died because of water pressure, DJ?
We'll get to it. We will get to it in the nitpicking portion. I just want to throw that out there. Okay, so now, meanwhile, DJ and Mac, they have to like do their little thing to not be captured because now the base is overrun by like fucking mercenaries that work for Hillary. So that's cool, right?
Yeah, you know, the killers are us. They're the us. That's a line from the first Meg.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
It is. I listened to our podcast about the Meg yesterday.
It can't be.
And they do say that line in Meg, yeah, because Rainn Wilson also hires a bunch of goons.
Well, I guess it's good to know that they didn't improve the dialogue.
No,
1 and 2.
Not at all. And both Meg movies, for some reason, also have goons, antagonists. Like, why? It's a shark movie. It's not like Jaws also has a team of villains, you know, going and doing stuff. The shark is enough.
Well, Jason Statham can't just punch a shark.
Right, and that's what we invent these little fucking dinosaurs for. But also, no, those don't count either.
Oh, I should also mention, in the middle of this, there is like battle with Meg stuff. It doesn't matter. It's like, it's crazy that this is Meg 2, The Trench, and very unrelated to Trench and very unrelated to Meg.
Well, there's a decent amount of Trench content. It's like 10% Meg stuff.
Yeah, I feel like the first Meg was way more Trench stuff than this one. They were like, the Mariana Trench, we have to go there. Wouldn't that be crazy if we went to the Mariana Trench? So like, it's weird that we're naming this Meg 2 The Trench.
Yeah, it's all wrong. It's all
it'd be like if Avengers 2 was Avengers Loki's Invasion. And be like, no, that was the first one. We did that already. But
high points, Mac and DJ meet up with the crew and they escape with Montez and them chasing, and they got to be all quiet about escaping because they don't want to piss off any Megs. The Meg is always a looming threat. It's always there. So then they get to like a beach, and
not just any beach.
Oh, Fun Island.
Yeah.
They get to Fun Island where the Megs have chased them. Now, what's insane is I know I've missed stuff, but we're basically at the end of the movie.
Yeah, pretty much. It is a long end, though. I do feel like this portion of the movie is at least a half hour long.
Yeah, for
so many characters meet and interchange stuff and invent new things. It's crazy.
I feel like the part we're about to describe is like a third of the movie.
Yeah.
But it's like I don't know, what is there to say? Meg comes, eats crazy amount of people. Just a wild amount of people. 3 Megs, right there, 3 Megs. Haichi, and 2 just unnamed Megs.
And the Joker of the Megalodons.
Yeah.
The apex predator.
Right. So they're feasting on people. So it should have been in the summary. Feasting on humanity.
Mm-hmm. And
Jonas is like, I guess I have to save humanity from Megalodons. Because that's what I'm here for. My expertise is Megalodons.
In Jonas's defense, I feel like 30 minutes later, we still have people just hanging out in the water. And I'm like, this is your fault at this point.
Like, the dock isn't even like, it's not like, oh, they crashed and the dock's kind of floating out to sea. So they're all just standing there. It's like, no, they could just leave whenever they want. And I mean, I get it. I guess there's enough shit going on the land that it's also like, I still feel like you're much safer not on the dock. But yeah, there's land stuff going on too.
So, big things that are going on. Mac and Ju-Ming somehow wind up on like a field with a helicopter.
Yeah, whose helicopter?
That's the helipad.
Oh, and it's what's her face's Hillary's helicopter.
Newman from Seinfeld.
Yeah,
has that Jurassic Park moment.
Yeah, it gets destroyed by
unlike Newman, comes to the island for literally no reason.
Yeah.
And he's like, I make big explosive, and we're gonna fucking blow shit up.
Well, because that's about as it's as potent as TNT.
It is
that whatever it is, sodium nitrate or whatever the fuck it's called.
DJ is also kind of involved with this part of the adventure, but he's busy shooting raptors with his fucking 50 caliber gun.
Yeah,
which
poison
is
tipped.
Yeah, poison tipped 50 caliber gun. Honestly, that line, "Who says 50 caliber is an impractical gun or like impractical ammo," got like a legitimate laugh out of me.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
that was for me.
DJ's got to support other DJs.
Yeah.
Well, there's that, and there's also that you spend a lot of time thinking about the caliber of armaments that Nando and I do not.
That's right.
Or any reasonable person, right? Like,
and you love Jaws
that
too.
Line?
That's your favorite Jaws. It's Jaws 2. So
what fucking AI generative model wrote that? Anyway, so that happens. Meanwhile, Jonas is fighting 3 Megs while fighting Montez.
Yeah, kind of. Like, yeah, Montez is always like around.
Just like weird. The Megs. Everyone's just around. There's no direct engagement. It's a lot of derivative stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, Jason Statham does his thing. He beats Montez. And I don't know what more to say besides he beats Montez and he beats up Megs. Like, he uses a big spear.
Well, how does he kill the Megs? I think that's important, kind of.
So he's got like a big spear with like an explosive tip.
Yeah, like blows them up.
Yeah, it blows up the Megs. It's cool.
I also feel like we've missed maybe the most important detail of the movie, kind of, which I think would help people understand what's actually going on at this resort right now.
Oh my God. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, the resort is Fun Island and everyone's having fun on Fun Island.
Sure.
Presumably. And yeah, while all this is happening, there are people in the water who are very slowly getting back to shore at the, behest of Jonas and Ju-Ming. They're like begging people to get back to shore.
Mm-hmm. But what's happening on the shore?
Oh, right. So are you talking about the octopus?
No, I'm talking about the little raptor guys, the raptor eel monster things that are causing all kinds of chaos. Because that's the part that I feel like you could describe a whole Meg 1 movie to me. And this sounds like Meg 1, but it's like also there's guys just eating up all the little, like all the army dudes and like fucking shit up all over the place.
Yeah, because the army dudes are chasing Jonas' crew because of course.
These things are, unless you're DJ shooting at them, they're bulletproof. Apparently.
Yeah. Well, he's got the 50 cal poison tipped guns. So.
Mm-hmm.
If there's anything that deep sea creatures are known for, it's their extremely tough exteriors.
Yep.
Also, there's a kraken because of course.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a kraken because a kraken's a squid. This is an octopus.
Oh. I didn't know that.
It had like the little beak like a squid.
That's true. Does octopus also have beaks?
Octopuses also got beaks.
Oh.
What distinguishes them? Just the pointy part for the squid?
The head shape is different. And I'm sure there are other differences, like number of tentacles.
Yeah, it might be a 6'8" thing. I'm not positive on that, but
6'8", damn you fine.
That's right, exactly.
So that's happening. I wish there was more trench monsters. They really just picked a couple of models and were like, we're using these.
Yep.
No more trench guys. You saw them all earlier in the movie in the trench.
One of them didn't even really get a model. It was just a bunch of tentacles and some stuff. But like,
yeah, we barely see that octopus really.
Yeah.
So yeah, they Ju-Ming blows up the octopus. DJ shoots a bunch of the raptors, and they're also kind of like, is that how they're defeated? Just DJ kills all of them?
A bunch of them explode in the
right.
They blow up most of them.
Yeah.
DJ only kills one.
That's right. I do think a couple of them also get. Well, do some of them get chopped up by the helicopter? No, the helicopter chops up octopus tentacles.
Yes.
Yeah. Never mind.
But yeah, Jason Statham uses his cool spear to blow up the Meg. And then I guess at the very end, I guess this is important. Hai-Chi is coming after Ju Ming, who still hasn't died, even though he's tried, improbably. And he's used his little clicker to try and stop Hai-Chi, but Hai-Chi's going full force. And we see Hai-Chi like come out of her trance, I guess. And then Ju Ming does the clicker, and then Hai-Chi kind of goes away. But it looks like she was chasing dolphins. So Jonas goes, "Oi, she was chasing the dolphins." It's to dismiss the fact that a Meg could possibly ever bond with a human, because humans are food, not friends. Child is okay. All the white people are dead. Especially that guy who was like,
a couple survive. One survives.
The hot ones made it. The good looking ones.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Jason Statham. And I mean, to be fair, he's looking pretty good. You know, he's in great shape.
You remember that episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm, the ugly section with Nick Kroll?
Yes, I do remember that one.
That they're all dead. Everyone in the ugly section's dead.
Right.
But the hot section gets to like live. So yeah, that's kind of the movie. Did I miss anything?
No, yeah, I was trying to remember if there was an ending, but they all just get drunk on the beach and then credits, right?
They all get drunk on the beach and like, well, there's still a megalodon out there, and it might even be pregnant because of the big megalodon fuckfest we saw earlier.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and he didn't say. I don't think we said Montez dies.
But yeah, Jonas defeats. Great line by the way.
This is the moment of the movie.
So, like, Jonas has him dead to rights, and Montez and Jonas is like, "No, I'm not gonna kill you." And Montez is like, "I knew you couldn't fucking do it." And then there's a Meg coming by, and Jonas like kicks him into the Meg. And what does he say? Nice chum.
Oh, he says
see
you
later,
chum. Yeah.
Because you see, DJ, the point is the double entendre of chum meaning friend, but chum also being a bunch of fish guts that you feed to carnivorous fish.
Right, because the Meg is there because specifically Montez bled, which no one has bled in this water yet. So the shark can tell. It's like, oh, sweet blood. I was waiting, finally.
Now, megalodons we don't know because they're
true.
So ancient. But it is true that sharks can pinpoint blood from very far away.
Oh, sure. I'm just saying, this ocean is filled with blood at this point. So many people have been megafied. I don't think this is going to register on his radar of blood.
Well, no, but this is a PG-13 movie, Nando, so almost nobody ever actually bleeds.
Yeah, even though there's some pretty gnarly deaths in this movie. Like, they go for it. You can
get away with anything if you don't have blood.
Yeah. But yeah, that is the end. No post-credit scene.
Implode someone's face on camera as long as they don't bleed.
And then hold the body with the head gone for a second. And I'm like, cool.
Nando, what did you think of the Meg 2 The Trench?
So this is tough because, like, on one hand, I do like Jason Statham. I think he is a movie star, and I think he can do this movie, even though it's mostly bad, and make it fun. On the other hand, a lot of it's bad and boring, and it doesn't make any sense. On the other hand, this is kind of what the Jurassic Park movies are always cheating towards in these most recent years, where it's like, wouldn't it be crazy if we just let them go? You know, and like, what would happen if there's just a lot of dinosaurs eating guys? Because they always got close to that in the Jurassic World movies and then just didn't do it. And I don't think that's quite what this movie does, but I do think this movie finishes pretty strong for me. So I do think I had a pretty good time. I don't think it's like a good movie or well written. And yeah, the characters are all really weird. I do think it does feel like a different person took over the reins of this movie and decided to not necessarily like right the wrongs of the first Meg movie in that like kind of cinema sinsy way, but at least have like these characters like DJ acknowledge that the first Meg movie happened and it's crazy that this is happening again. And I kind of like that about it. It does have that, like Jaws had similar problems where it's just like, man, we really can't get this right, can we? I think it's kind of funny at certain points. I think it's got some okay action scenes. Like all the stuff underwater I didn't like. I think most of that. And that is a lot of the movie. And it's a lot of drama that just never pays off because it's like, yeah, no, I'm pretty sure Jason Statham's not going to explode in this scene. I think he's going to survive till whatever happens at the end of the movie. But
to all the stuff I saw in the trailer.
Well, yeah, or even if you see it in the trailer, like there's absolutely no way these movies are ever going to kill Jason Statham. This man is the whole thing. Like there's obviously lots of other people doing a great job. And I don't want to sell Cliff Curtis short, but it's definitely like his face on the poster, him and Shark, best of friends, worst of enemies. So I think that the parts of the movie underwater were very good. The parts of the movie that were above water were pretty good. I like the intro where he's fighting guys on the boat. I thought that was pretty good. And like, again, it's just back to like Jason Statham's a movie star. Put him in a movie, have him do movie star things, and it's pretty good. So yeah, honestly, I thought I would dislike this movie more. And it's almost, I don't think it's quite like jumped to that other side of the thing where it's so stupid that it's fun. Like it hasn't made it to Fast and Furious, like jumping in the air and catching yourself on another car. But however, by the end of this movie, they're doing some absolutely like bonker stuff with Megs, using them as ramps and like as boosts, as if this is Mario Kart. So I don't know. I do kind of like this movie. I don't know. It's fun. I had a good time with it. DJ, what about you?
Oh man. Okay. Like you, I'm very conflicted, Nando. I do agree that because the movie ended stronger than it started, I was like, oh, like I think there was something here. The first half is like a rough slog. Like the underwater walk is terrible. Everything with the malevolent mining operation is terrible. Because it's like you're limited when you're just in that like underwater space. Like the movie tries to be like, yeah, this is what would happen with pressure and fucking breathing and oxygen and shit. But like, it's crazy to me that this movie came out like a couple months after every single person in the world became an expert on submersibles.
Oh, it's incredible.
And like what happens at extreme depths of the ocean.
And also how much little room there should be for people.
Yes. Like, it is wild that like had the fucking thing with the submersible never happened, you know, maybe you're like, sure, whatever. But no, now we're all fucking experts. Like, you can't get this pious Meg 2. So that was just kind of funny for me. But like, I think it leans enough into the camp where at the end, when it's just like explosions and helicopter blades and fucking krakens, I know they're not krakens, but whatever, and little, you know, reptiles eating faces. I'm like, you know what, this is pretty good. Like, I feel like the ending didn't drag, but like overall, it's a pretty bad movie. I would never watch it again. I wouldn't advise anyone like watch unless you want to get high and watch something like hilarious, because like there are like really funny parts of the movie, but there's also these really just like dour parts where it's like too serious, and it's like, guys, what the fuck are we doing? Like, at no point does anyone go like, let's Meg shit up. Like, come on.
Yeah. I mean, at one
that's
point,
what this movie should be.
At one point, they are fucking being followed by like the things underwater, and Jason Statham, I think, is the one who's like, we have to turn and fight, or something like that. And that line, I was like, okay, buddy, you don't really think you're in this movie, do you? Like, is that what this is? Transformers?
Oh, fuck.
That was pretty good.
So it's like, it's very in the middle, leaning bad, but there is something at the end of this movie where you're like, oh man, they have something here. And I feel like this almost could have been like a huge, like in 5 years, be like the cult classic Meg 2 if they lean more into that, because you could sell people on this, but like I think it's hard to sell people on the what this is, because the first half you'd be like, I'm so bored, this is terrible. Why is Jason Statham just walking very slowly for like 20 minutes? So yeah, but it gets there. So what about you, Diggins?
So my opinion is fairly similar to the two of you. I think the first 2/3 of this movie are really bad. I think the last third is surprisingly pretty good, but it's because I don't know what it is, but it feels like they got a completely different team to make the last third of this movie than the people who made the first 2/3.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not just like that they're not like going hard enough on it or like being silly enough or whatever, which is true, but also the first 2/3 are just like incompetently made from like a directing and writing standpoint in ways that the last third are not. Like everything about the first, about like the underwater trench part of it is designed to deflate any tension you might be feeling at any given moment. Where it'll be like, they're trapped underwater. Let's cut away and do some above ground bullshit. Oh, the one guy got grabbed by something? Let's cut away and do some above ground bullshit. And every time they cut away, they come back, and it's like when they first crash, they're like, we've got to walk 2 kilometers to the morning station with just 3 kilometers with just 2 hours of air. And then we cut back and they're like, all right, we made it halfway.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right. And then at that point, they're like, we got to go right through this big trench here where it's got full of all kinds of dangers and monsters. We got to turn our lights off. It's going to be super dangerous. And then we cut away, we cut back. All right, we made it through that trench. And I'm like, why did you even tell me about the threat if it doesn't matter? And I don't even see it.
Yeah, there is a lot of like taking them at their word on a lot of that part of the movie too, because it's also that like we only have enough oxygen for this much time, this much distance, and then they get there and they're like, "Whew, we shouldn't have made it, but we did." It's like, why? What happened? What changed? Like, you all just died, I guess. You've asphyxiated in the middle of nowhere, and this is all a dream because you all told me how much oxygen you had and then ran out, I assume.
The only person who runs out gets eaten by a megalodon anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
So at no point does the oxygen actually matter.
Yeah.
So just like there's this constant deflating, and same with like the plot parts of it too, where we have this mysterious mining operation where we're like, oh, where did this come from? And then like as soon as we start wondering about it, we, the audience, see Hillary call up and be like, Montez, did anybody find out about our super illegal mining operation that the person that you saw earlier in the movie is one of the funders of this institute, is running? And I'm like, cool, I guess I'm glad I saw that. And the movie tries to pretend that there's still some kind of mystery where like Zhu Ming finds his tech and it's like, how'd they get their hands on my tech? And it's like, well, it's because your partner is the person doing this. I saw that 10 minutes ago. Zhu Ming, why are you trying to make a mystery out of this? Just like everything about that is just like designed to make it sure that I don't care about anything that happens. Mm-hmm. But then we get to the last third of the movie where it does get very silly, and suddenly like all those stuffs like actually stops happening, where we have setups and payoffs and everything in like a normal movie way instead of constantly undercutting itself. And
it is weird, like the last part was written by different people.
Yeah, I mean, how many writers are on this movie? I haven't really checked, but
I wonder if they're out of the underwater part. Like, maybe they just thought the underwater part was like way too hard.
Well,
like,
that is a thing now in movies. You do have to have different people write the underwater and the above water part. So that's why sometimes you go underwater in a movie, it does seem very different. It's because that's the underwater writer doing it.
Yeah, that's true.
That's one of the things that WGA is trying to set up.
Yeah.
And, like, get the different rooms for.
Right, the underwater room and the above water room.
Yeah. But okay, so there's the novel written by one guy. There are 3 writers that are on the hook for screenplay and screen story credits. Got Dan Georgeris, who did The Manchurian Candidate and Paycheck and some of the Quantum Leap show, the original Meg. So, okay. So you got that guy. You got John Hober. Let's see if he is also a part of that. Yeah, more or less. John Hober wrote Transformers Rise of the Beast and Battleship. Interesting. So this guy's the Hasbro. They call him when they need a movie that is okay. And then we have Eric Hober, who is also part of that crew. So yeah. Oh, they're brothers, I guess. John and Eric Hober. Yeah. So yeah, maybe they're the above or the below people, and then Dean is the above person. I don't know.
Could be.
One director on this, by the way, Ben Wheatley, who did not direct the first Meg movie. I don't know if you guys saw that movie Free Fire, where it's like everybody shooting each other in a warehouse. It's kind of fun. It's like it was going for that kind of stylish like 70s. Like a lot of famous people in it. Like Brie Larson's in it. It had a moment. But yeah, he made that. And that's why I do think some of the action in this movie is more competent than I would expect for a Meg movie.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I had a lot more fun with it once we got to Fun Island.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why they called it that.
I was gonna say it became Fun Movie, so it was Fun Island.
They had parts in the script that were fun. They were like, well, can't go there. We gotta put that in Fun Island part. We have to have the helicopter shop of guys in Fun Island, obviously. boring trench. That's the name of the other part of the movie we spend most of the movie in. That's where those things go.
Once we get to Fun Island, it's like we don't cut away pointlessly from action scenes or deflate the tension all the time. And it turns out that works a lot better when you actually just let a scene play out.
Yeah, and they do fun things with the island, now that I think about it. That bit where they're like, everybody keeps accidentally running into the garage full of mercenaries is funny. Like, they're just, I don't know. Yeah, it has a different vibe.
So overall, like, it's not a very good movie, and I wouldn't recommend it to people, but like, if you're putting together a bad movie night or something, you could do worse than Meg 2.
Yeah, I do think, DJ, I'm curious on your opinion on this. Do you like this one more than Meg 1?
I barely remember Meg 1,
Me
but
too,
I think
clearly.
there are parts of this will like stick with me, so I'm actually going to say I like this one better.
Do you remember how Meg 1 ended? Like, what the big kind of finale was for that?
I don't.
It's fucking Jason Statham and the mom who dies off screen, Su-Yin, get in like little fucking spaceships underwater that look like, and I called them this in the movie, but they look like what Anakin flies in Star Wars 3, I think. Like,
Okay.
It's this very strange little technology thing that we never see again, and obviously we don't see in this at all. But it's less, I think that's part of why this one works better, is because the jet ski plus the big old sword kind of things are way more fun to look at than, Star Wars underwater.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so I have many questions.
Yeah, let's hear them.
Many questions. Okay, so first, just off the bat. So, like, the biggest nitpick, if we're getting into nitpicking territory, is that the Mariana Trench, 25,000 feet below sea level, underwater stuff is all bullshit, and they would all be dead so fast.
Well,
right?
DJ, the fish don't explode. So clearly something's up.
Can we talk about that,
What a
by
line.
the way?
Yeah.
It is so funny. It would be like, it's like that this movie, like, I can't even think of something to compare this to in like a cultural moment, not meeting this movie. Like, oh, you didn't hear, everybody on earth knows how this works now but you, because it's so unreal.
Okay, so here's the thing, guys.
Uh-huh.
The thing they say about the air in your body being compressed and collapsed being what the danger of water pressure is true. And in theory, if one filled up all the air-filled parts of your body with water, that would make your body much better able to survive high water pressure than it would be otherwise.
Oh, great.
Yeah, and there's no other side effects, right?
Well,
it's just something you can come back from.
There's definitely some parts of his body that have air in them that he could not have gotten water in. Like, did you know under your teeth there's some air? Like all his teeth should have exploded out of his body.
He had a little bloody nose for a second, and then he was fine. What about his butthole? I bet his whole, just all that exploded out of him too. We never really see him from the waist down too much, but it's a mess down there, you have to assume.
Yeah, what about his butthole, right?
Secondly,
I'm just imagining a version of this where she's saying that, she's like, well, if he gets all the air out of his body, and then you see him, because as she says that, you kind of watch him do this, and yeah, like his like little,
he like pulls down his pants and he's like, oh!
And then
or would he instead be going,
yeah, maybe.
Apparently all these years I've been wrong about the prostate.
Yeah, he's just such a cool guy and tough that I don't think that would be a problem for him. I just wish he had acknowledged it, Also tummy and everything in there.
So what would happen? Like, in actuality,
like I said, all the parts of his body that he didn't fill with water would decompress and like crush him to death.
Okay.
But even if he did manage to fill all those parts with water, in theory, like you could, then if you got that water out and you weren't in there for very long, like if that was the only problem, in theory, yes, you could survive that. However, another problem with intense water pressure, like you would get at the ocean floor, is that it is so it is so high that it changes chemical properties of certain things, such as oxygen and nitrogen. So your body, instead of, bringing oxygen through your body and in your blood and whatnot, would instead start taking nitrogen, because that's what would bond easier at that level of pressure, which would mean even once you got back on land, there'd be a bunch of nitrogen in your body and you'd suffocate to death, even able to breathe.
God. That sucks.
Yeah, it's really bad.
So that's that. Like, that part's bullshit. But even their exosuits are bullshit, right?
The exosuits.
Like, an exosuit couldn't protect you from what like 300 atmospheres of pressure that it is down there, whatever the hell it is.
Yeah, it's
like
twice as far down as the submarine exploded. Submarine exploded around 12,000 feet or something like that, and this is 25,000.
It's like 700. It's a lot of atmospheres. Yeah. It's crazy.
I mean, if you made a super good exosuit, then it
no way, right?
I mean, it's weird because this movie, in like the Marvel universe, maybe someone could do it with like vibranium, but with the metals they seem to be working with, like cobalt and stuff, all these, metals that cost $1 billion. I guess maybe one of those is vibranium or like, adamantium, and they just didn't mention it because and it's also like the idea of like mechanical parts being able to walk is the part of it that really blows my mind. But
I mean, we definitely don't have anything capable of going anywhere near that deep right now, if that's your point.
Did you guys see in the earlier scene when he like crushed that cement block in the exosuit like outside of water? Pretty cool, right?
Well, I was like, I can't wait for him to do a big action scene with the incredible strength this exosuit gives him.
Yeah. It's weird too, because like that's another thing, kind of like drones in the last one of these, or like a lot of these movies tend to have, where like that is a real thing, kind of, but like it's used by, like the army to pick up heavy things and move them by one guy, and like not even really that much, but like it's like somebody saw like a TikTok of that going and we're like, we should put that in the Meg movie. And I'm like, well, where? I don't know. It's in their fucking suits. Whatever. It's that though. We get to show that in the beginning of the movie, so that'll be pretty cool. And yeah, it's just it's very weird.
Yeah, it's like it's weird, right? It's like nitpicking this movie is very easy with all the underwater stuff.
Honestly, I don't think we've even hit the most insane thing about water pressure in this movie.
What do you got?
Which is those little amphibious fuckers are at the bottom of the trench, and they're accustomed to living at that pressure, and then they come up on land and are like, "This is fine."
Yeah, they can just breathe air.
They breathe.
Huge fans of that.
They could be amphibious, which that would make sense. But I don't think an amphibious creature could survive both on land and at like 20,000 feet or whatever.
Yeah, I guess, but why would it breathe air at all? Like, why would that thing have evolved to breathe air in the first place? They never come up.
Well, yeah, no, it doesn't make any sense. I mean,
that's the part of it that, is the more bizarre part to me.
So first of all, it's not based on any real thing. It's just a totally made up thing.
Oh, yes. What if eels were dogs or something? The worst thing ever.
I mean, I suppose the idea is much like the megalodon. It's supposed to be an ancient creature. Mm-hmm. And like there was a time when it lived on air and sea, like we see at the beginning.
Right. Is that the thing that gets eaten by the T-Rex?
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense.
And like the megalodon, it just hasn't evolved in these millions and millions of years.
Yeah.
But then it can't live in the deep ocean trenches. It would die. And if it has evolved to survive in the deep ocean trenches, then I don't think it can go back on land.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah. It's that. Yeah. There's so much bullshit. There's so much of that bullshit. Even if you look at like Zhu Ming's feats alone, it's all incredible. At what point were you guys like, they will not let Zhu Ming die? It's not happening. For me, I think it was the escaping the sub from the Malevolent mining operation. I'm like, oh, he gets to live forever.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like, what's the moment when the movie should have sacrificed him and didn't?
See, that's what I thought.
You
it was
think it's that?
Escaping the Malevolent mining operation, yeah.
I think I made it a little bit further in that he was going to stick around longer. I think maybe the part where I was like, oh, Jubink's definitely going to survive is the part where there weren't 3 jet skis. Because I was like, oh, okay, Jason Statham's going to get on the jet ski lift. The first Cliff Curtis is going to die on his jet ski immediately, and then he'll have to sacrifice himself to save the niece. So that makes sense. But then when there was 1 jet ski, I was like, oh, I guess everybody's going to be fine. This is...
And they were.
Yeah, they were. Nobody on the good guys died in the end.
Yeah, the last person to die was when they got to the malevolent mining operation. From that point forward, no other heroes would die.
They managed to save the dog. Like, they got everybody out of there.
Diggins, what about my hero from Fun Island? A creepy man who told tourists to rub him with lotion.
Yeah.
Hey, beautiful lady, you want to put some oil on my back? What about my front?
That's the thing, though. Like, you see these places on like TikTok and Instagram and stuff like that, like Fun Island. And it's like, look at this beautiful place. It's filled with those people, though. It's one of the reasons I never want to go. It's just the worst.
Every time I go to a resort, some creepo guy is asking me to put oil on his back.
And you have to do it. That's the problem. Is that you
That's
have
the law.
to if you're there and you have oil. So yeah, it's not a good place to go.
Well, it's like you can get it at normal price where you don't have to rub oil on the guy's back, or you can get it at the cheap price where anytime a disgusting older man asks you to put oil on his back, you have to do it.
Yeah, also he can hit you.
No, man.
Yeah, he can hit at that price point.
Can hit,
He can hit on you.
Ooh.
We got there. So, but yeah, besides him, no other heroes died. You know what? Another weird thing about this movie, I'm just thinking about weird things. The Megs were very, much variation in their sizes. A lot of different Meg sizes, it felt like. Sometimes they were like just a little bit big sharks, but sometimes they were like full on Megs. And I feel like that consistency was lost. And it's fine, but I just kind of noticed it.
I mean, there wasn't that many Megs in this movie, to be honest. Like, by the middle, I was like, I was having that Jeff Goldblum, like, are there going to be any dinosaurs on this dinosaur tour moment? Like, and you really get Megs at the end, but even in the end, the Megs aren't really the problem. Jonas is killing them because they're bad, but like all our main characters are being actively threatened by the little dinosaurs and the villains.
Or the octopus.
Or the octopus, right, yeah. Like, as long as you stay out of the water, you're pretty much good with the Megs.
The Megs have even kind of just like left. Like, they're not even eating the beach people who's still inexplicably not out of the water. I want to be super clear. At this point, Megs have eaten dozens of people.
Oh, yeah.
And everyone's seen them and are screaming and crying and running away. And there's still people just hanging out in the water around the docks.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
It's pretty good. What, by the way, what happened to that bride?
Yo, I was just about to bring that up. Why was that scene there? So there's this scene where there's like a boat. So they show Fun Island, and then there's this weird cutaway. It's like 5 kilometers from Fun Island, 70 kilometers from the trench. There's like a boat, and a guy proposes on a boat. And by the way, I just had this little moment where I'm like, is that how they also propose? Like, that's not just like a Western thing? Is that where they propose like everywhere?
I don't know.
Like,
maybe caught on.
I feel like cultural osmosis has made it more common.
Okay. But yeah, so she's like, you fucking moron, you lost the ring, and then she dies. She gets fucking megged.
But she doesn't get megged, she gets octopused.
That's right.
Oh,
why was that scene in the movie?
Okay, yeah.
Just to show octopus?
Yeah, because we didn't know that there'd be any octopussy in this movie.
Okay.
And it's weird because, like, yeah, it just feels like, why isn't that also a Meg or something? I don't know, Meg with tentacles, would that be too much? Would you see that and be like, that's stupid?
Well, that would be would be Mega Shark versus Giant Octopus or whatever.
Right, that's what we got, pretty much.
Or there was a sci-fi movie with a Sharktopus.
Oh, yeah. Maybe that's the next one.
Megtopus.
I also feel like... Oh, go on.
Yeah, go ahead, Nando.
Well, I was just going to say, like, out of the 3 things, you have the little raptors, the raptor eel guys, you have the big kraken, and you have the Megs. I also think the Megs are easily the least threatening. Like, agreed. It's hard for Jonas to kill them, but only because he's one guy and he has to physically like throw these javelins at the right part of the Meg. But like a helicopter and a javelin shooter, and you could knock out all 3 Megs in a minute.
Yeah.
Like, no problem. But like these little raptor guys are really fast and they're dangerous. And then the other thing is completely underwater most of the time and just throwing a tentacle up and down. With those guys, I don't just understand what's it after, you know? Like these octopus things, they're just throwing tentacles up to see what it can get. Oh, there's some tourists up there that can slither down here.
Yeah,
like,
that's how they work.
I guess so. Because, yeah, this one, it goes straight to town on these guys. Yeah, weird.
I mean, if you're an octopus, you just love to eat people, I guess. Octopuses historically are not very aggressive against humans.
Yeah.
But I guess when you get to be big enough.
When did it occur to you guys that the Megs were going to be the good guys in the end or something?
As soon as there was like, Ju-Ming was like, I trained my own Meg who loves me. And everyone was like, no, that's not true. I was like, okay, so at the end, he's going to do the thing. I kept waiting. I was like, when is the fucking sonar going to come back? I thought it almost wasn't going to because there were several other dropped threads like that. Mm-hmm. But no, it gets there in the end.
Yeah.
At least that one, right?
It had a very like Jurassic World kind of, that felt very similar to that.
At least they gave an out where Jonas can be like, it was just the dolphins, man.
Mm-hmm.
I did like that. I like the little like cheekiness, and it's like, oh, some doubt we hate Megs. Right. Jonas will always hate Megs. That's just like who he is as a person. So
right, and that means if they make a third one of these, he's gonna have to like ride one into combat in the end of it or something. Like he will have to make peace with the Megs.
I gotta say, the way he talks about Megs at the beginning when Ju-Ming is like, I trained one, is like how Charles Murray talks about black people. It sounds hateful.
Who is that?
The guy who wrote, oh God, what's that phrenology?
Oh.
Everyone still
loves. The one that's on TikTok this week or something?
Probably.
Apparently phrenology TikTok came back.
Incredible.
I know, right?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. But no, this is like, actual phrenology.
Yeah,
Not just like, you're more attractive if you have the angel skull or whatever that was.
Yeah.
The bell curve. The guy who wrote the bell curve.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Jonas is like,
you can't train a Meg. Violence and human eating's in their nature. All Megs are inherently evil.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of agree with Jonas. Is that bad?
I mean, Jonas is right that you can't just train a wild animal, but it's just the way he says it. It feels so hateful.
And also,
I mean, it's wild that they have a Meg in captivity.
Yeah.
So little protection.
It's crazy that we start there in this movie. And like, it's just like, we got one. We're teaching it tricks.
And also, it escaping isn't because anything goes wrong. It turns out he could have left whenever it wanted.
Yeah.
The door might as well have been open. It's like, oh, what do you got to stop the Meg from escaping? Oh, like a little wire mesh fence?
Yeah,
like,
we tell it no every night before we go to bed. We say, Meg, you stay, and then it does. So, why do you think we should build like a big old steel door like the rest of the whole thing? No, I want to be. Okay. I want to be fun,
guys. I have a huge question about the plot of this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Why does the mining operation have to be secret?
I don't know. Why is the mining operation at all?
I guess it has to be secret so that the lady can be a secret villain.
Right, but like in universe, why does the mining operation have to be secret?
It's a great question.
Because like they get there and they're like, oh, these are like semiconductors that they could like. Do they call them room temperature semiconductors?
Yeah, they do. They say quantum computing. I don't remember if they say room temperature semiconductors, but they throw a lot of those buzzwords at you.
They say there's something about them makes them like super good semiconductors that you could use in like quantum computing and other stuff. And he's like, this one box is worth $1 billion.
Yep. A billion with a B.
Yeah, it's like sure, buddy.
And it's like, okay, so that's down here. Later, we find out that the explosives from that mining are apparently breached the thermocline, even though that doesn't make any sense because the explosion happened, according to their timetable, like 3 hours ago. And he's like, yeah, it'll close in an hour. I'm like, it's been open for 3. What are you talking about? But whatever. But like, nobody gives a reason why it would have to be secret. I guess Hillary unprompted, offers that it's damaging to the ecosystem.
Right.
But again, we're talking about super value. Like, I can't imagine there's any government on Earth where she would go to them and be like, there's semiconductors under there that are worth trillions of dollars if we can mine them. Who would be like, but that ecosystem underground filled with all those giant monsters who ate a bunch of people, we don't want to disturb that when it's so isolated from the rest of the Earth, it would never have any effect on us. Like, that's not what would happen.
Yeah, I guess in a movie like this, you'd expect that the word would be like, our guys in our team would be like, and this is as deep as you can possibly go, because if you go any deeper, the Megs are able to escape, and then that causes all kinds of chaos and stuff. And then these guys have broken that law to go down, and that's why all this stuff is happening. But
as far as I know, there is no law about deep sea mining, if only because it's not really possible.
Yeah, only in the Megaverse. Like, this would be a law specifically where it would be like, if you put a mining operation at under 20,000 feet, Megs are able to escape, so you can't go that far. Like, we've drawn a line that you can't go down that far. But yeah, I don't think that's made super clear. And also, the Megs aren't acting weird because of the mining operation. They're just like, that one just escapes because it decides to, because of Meg
chasing
fever.
Them while they're leaving.
It's like, gotta fuck.
If they didn't leave, like, the Meg wouldn't have escaped.
Right. Wait, so wait, why did they leave?
Because they don't want to be trapped underwater.
Wait.
But
why are they in the boats at all, or in the little pods?
So they're in the sub that they're in that can just go through the thermocline. It's like temperature regulated or whatever. They go up and realize there's a big hole in the thermocline.
Right.
And the Megs go through that. But the Megs only go through that because they're chasing them. Like, apparently this mining operation has to have existed for a long time, right? If they built this whole thing and they're like have a processing facility where they have a big conveyor belt that crushes up the semiconductors or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
So presumably they've done this before where they did some explosives and no Megs ever got out from those.
Right. Or did they?
This was the big one. Or it's like the ozone where it weakened over time.
Yeah.
But according to Zhu Ming, it's like, it's so minor that it will heal in an hour. It's not like he said, like, my God, they've been doing it so much, it's blown a permanent hole in the thermocline.
That's a movie.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, everything gets out.
Yeah.
There's no reason I can see why this would have to be a secret thing. One could even, and I think the movie would be better if it wasn't, because then it could be like an argument that Jonas has where he's like, we shouldn't be doing the deep sea mining, it'll make a thing happen with all the Megs. And then it does happen, and he gets to be right, and we also get to have a foreshadowing of the threat and everything. And, like, that's how these movies go. But for some reason, it's a secret. It's a secret that they don't keep from the audience, so it doesn't get to be a mystery for us. It just gets to be deeply confusing.
Yeah.
That actually would work, too, with when Jonas has to, like, you know, it's go to the mining operation or die. It's like, oh, we gotta go to the mining base down here that's in the thermal cloud. I don't like it, but we gotta go. Maybe a little bit of conflict.
And then when they do reach the mining operation, Jess and Hillary are like, let us tell you who the traitors are for no reason.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they have the weird little, like, shoot him and I'll give you $1 million and it'll be cool.
Yeah, what was that?
I don't know.
But also, fucking Jason Statham, just play it cool. Where Jess is like, hey, we have lots of money and we can give it to you if you're willing to forget all about this. And he's like, I'll never forget about this, you traitor. And I'm like, just tell her you will, you idiot, until you're on land.
Yeah.
You
can
no
lie.
Downside in lying. Yeah, there's no downside to lying in this situation. None whatsoever.
In any situation. That's a lesson for all you kids out there. No downside to lying.
I have said it before and I will say it again. There is no problem on Earth that cannot be solved with enough lying.
Yeah.
It's true. It's absolutely true.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, the mining operation thing is weird. Yeah, I mean, like, it seems like building that would be impossible, right? Like, how would you even make it?
100%. It is utterly impossible.
You'd have to drop it fully made into the water and just hope it sinks down to the right part. And maybe that's what they did. But then where was everybody else?
To have the technology to build that place in the first place, they would have to be able to like their exploration should be unbelievably safe and like easy, because the technology they would need would have to make going down there trivial.
Yeah, and also like I guess for her, I mean I'm sure this is businesses, so there's a bullshit answer, but like where would she have gotten the metal from otherwise? Like, are they just like, oh, I found another package of rare metals the other day, I guess we should process it, and like nobody's checking. Nobody's trying to get it themselves. Everybody's like, oh, I guess she does have it. So it's the end of the story.
Who is she even selling this to?
Yeah.
And like, how did she find out they were there in the first place?
Yeah.
It's in a sector that they haven't explored. Did she send out her own explorers just in case there were rare earth minerals?
I imagine Montez was the whole exploration team too. Just him in a little submarine doing it all himself because...
Well, he has a whole little team he instantly kills.
He does have goons, that's true. And like people. Yeah. It's just, and it's weird because like, yeah, because I don't know. Why
also,
does that exist?
If this research station is built to study the trench, they never noticed a large-scale construction operation going into the trench for presumably months, if not years.
I mean, you'd have to say in that situation, Kimberly or whatever her name is erasing the sonar footage or something. And like, it's a bad answer, but I think that's what the movie would say is that. And I think there's probably a couple of spies on the Meg ship that just weren't all immediately, they didn't all out themselves. But like, what is her name? Jess. I feel like Jess is definitely just like, someone's like, man, there's so many weird blind spots in our security system every Tuesday and Wednesday. And I'm like, yep, well, I don't know what to tell you.
What if it turned out
nothing to be done?
What if it turned out literally everybody besides the main characters were spies?
Yeah, I wouldn't.
That was a staff member.
I would buy it. I mean, definitely everybody that explodes underwater and stuff, they can be spies. I mean, I guess they wouldn't be spies because they'd know about the base. But I mean, maybe they're playing it cool.
Everyone except the people in those subs is a spy.
Yeah,
and DJ and Mac because they stay on land or on this station.
Oh, and maybe they are spies and they're just smart enough to not rock the boat. I guess they start getting shot at, but in the beginning, at least.
As soon as it becomes obvious that Jonas is going to find out about it, they're like, well, that's going to end badly, so we're flipping now and not telling anyone.
Yeah. What do we think of Mac's character, by the way?
He's what?
Exactly. Well, he's like... His whole thing in the first one was, he's what's his name's friend, and they trust each other from dives and stuff and whatever. And in this one, he's just like the third guy to go like, that's fucking stupid, Jonas. Let's not go do a Meg stuff again. And then Jonas is like, you gotta though. And he's like, okay. He's just got a really weird energy here.
Yeah, it's interesting that they had holdover characters from the first movie because I assume, Nando, most people are like you and me where they forgot the first movie because it came out so long ago.
Yeah, it was 7 years ago. No, 5 years ago. 2018. Yeah.
Okay. It came out so long ago and was so unmemorable. And like, I don't know. It's like I either just start from scratch or everyone is DJ where they were like shitty and now they're the...
Yeah.
DJ had the best improvement.
Oh, yeah.
The two movies.
That is the problem with these movies, though. Like with what's her name? Like, say, what's the villain's name?
Hillary or Jess? Or?
Yeah, Hillary. Like with Hillary, I see this character and I'm like, she is a white woman talking to Jason Statham. I'm pretty sure he had a wife in the last one that was like his ex-wife or something. And I just go, I guess that's who that was. And it's not, they're not related at all. But like, there's a lot of that happening where like, again, like Curtis, the character who's one of the characters who explodes in the big walkthrough, you could convince me that was Ruby Rose the whole time. And I'd believe it, assuming she survives the last one, which I think she does. But yeah,
this Wikipedia summary is to be believed. I believe so.
It is so weird that DJ is the only character that does seem to... he got the Tyrese treatment in this movie of like I've watched the movie, so I've kind of anticipated the tropes of the movie in my movie kind of thing. In fact, he had
also like the only one I remember. I'm DJ, but that's a bias, so whatever.
He had some lines that also felt like lines Tyrese would say. Remember when he was like, call the Coast Guard, call the lifeguard, call the National Guard, call everybody. That's something that Tyrese would say in one of these. He was fun though. I liked his bag with the gun and stuff.
Yeah, and all the condoms. That's a Tyrese moment when she pulls out all the condoms.
Yep.
Hey man, you never know what's an emergency. I'm like, yep.
Different kinds of emergencies. Unless you got the other cut of the Meg 2. I got the new updated cut.
Yeah.
But also, like, I don't know if that would be underneath the taser and the pepper spray and the gun for me.
Right.
I feel like in the situation where I need that, like, I don't want the other person to see those first.
I mean, maybe it's
put
like
it in a different pocket or something.
You're like, it's like Mantis Toboggan. You got to throw some condoms down. Then that'll, it's his dentist system moment to attract the ladies. I do think it's wild that his system, his whole like go bag is made for this and not like shark survival stuff. Like, is that really the main concern you have, DJ? Is you guys are going to get boarded by goons again? Not you're going to have to swim or something? And like, I get that he can swim now and that's fine, but he doesn't have like a satellite phone or some of the other things that would have helped them in the Meg 1 movie.
Well, you laugh, Nando, but it turns out he was prepared for exactly the right scenario.
And apparently, he knew better than I did, so who am I to judge? But yeah, I did like him. I like that he had a gun. I do think you should probably have to, maybe he registered it with somebody else, some like head of security on that thing, but
I know it's a Jaws 2 reference, so it's not really like, it's maybe not a nitpick for this movie necessarily, but what on earth is the point of poisoning a bullet?
Right? Yeah, I don't know.
And why is his gun the only gun that can shoot the friggin' eel dogs?
Yeah, that's weird. How he was the savior in the end for those couple of ladies, and then he got all the ladies at the end and was the coolest guy.
I don't mind that because I can buy that he is. I can buy, but I think the way the movie sets it up is he has both bought all of the things for and trained himself to become like this, super cop guy who can shoot real good. And like, he's able to shoot through their mouths or something, like their open mouths, whereas everybody else is just kind of shooting at them when they're running at him. But like, if you don't, if you're not aiming at the right part, you're not going to kill him. That's kind of how I read that.
He wants to be Jonas.
He does want to be Jonas. Wouldn't you? Like, if you knew Jonas? Oh my God. Yeah. I'd be obsessed.
Just that's fair. Little lizards. Like, how tough could their skin possibly be that it holds up to high caliber bullets?
I don't know. They're really fast. Maybe that's part of it. They're like zipping and zapping away from the bullets. Little Matrix stuff going on. I don't know. Pretty weird.
It's just, people are holding assault rifles and firing them continuously at these things. And either they're missing every bullet or it does nothing. Both of which are preposterous scenarios.
Yeah. We do get those moments here in this movie where like Mac and DJ are running away from the goons and they're just like running, just like, whoa, hope they're not hiding behind anything. They're just on the railings of this fucking whatever it is, like ocean, research survey, just running as fast as they can away from all the bullets that the highly trained mercenaries are shooting at them. So I don't know, man. Maybe it is really hard to shoot people in this water or something.
You know what my favorite villain decision in this movie is actually?
What?
It's when Hillary's on the island in her little helicopter, and like the mercenaries have gone out and found the eel dogs, and a bunch of them have died.
Oh my God!
And she's sitting in a field with no one but her helicopter pilot, and there are dead bodies around them somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Like there are dead bodies just laying on the field with the helipad, like near the helicopter. And I'm like, how did that happen without her knowing what the problem is?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But anyway, they hear like one of their guys scream, and she's like, okay, turn off the helicopter, leave the door open, and go check that out.
Yeah.
I'll just sit here unarmed in this helicopter.
Oh, I got a nitpick.
Okay.
When they rescue Jonas in the thing you mentioned, Nando, that the little airplane that eats him up after he does the cool eco-terrorist thing on the boat.
Yeah.
So first of all, he's like dead, right?
Super dead.
Yeah, that right. So one, he's dead. Two, wouldn't that like fuck up the plane if you just like put some water in the bottom?
I mean,
Like, does that not fuck it up?
I guess in this situation, the plane is made for that. Like, but
just water in the hull.
I mean, like a little water part. I guess there's like a little, a little pool.
There's
for
probably
water.
like a little chamber that doesn't interface with all the actual machinery.
It's like those planes that put out fires. I imagine reversing it is like you dump the plane into the water and get the water out. Like I don't think that's how they fill those up, but if it was, that would be how you would do it.
I mean, planes and especially jets are generally. I guess
That's
it's not
true.
a jet; it's a regular like seaplane.
I can't believe this is the part of the movie you guys are defending.
No. I was actually gonna put a point in your favor here,
Oh,
DJ.
okay.
Generally, you do very carefully balance the weight on those things, and putting a bunch of water, even in like an empty cargo space or something, you probably mess with that.
They just calculated it. They're like, yeah, this is like about right.
Right, and that's why I was like in the movie. I'm like, well, if he didn't want to do that, you could just have it be a ladder or something, and he could get the ladder. But if the purpose of this plane is to scoop something bigger than Jonas potentially out of the water while it's in the water and put it into the plane, then I think I see where this is going. This is getting some Meg stuff in there or something. But yeah, that never happens again. In fact, the fact that they have a plane is such a game changer for what ends up happening to this Meg movie. I guess there's
why isn't that how they escape the station?
Yeah, nobody does even, because it's like there's helicopter guys. That's what the bad guys have, and then our good guys escape on the little boat with the paddles. But yeah, nobody takes the plane.
I also like it's a seaplane, right? So like, why wouldn't you land, let him come aboard, and then take off again?
I guess people would shoot at you, so you have to do it really fast.
But they don't got guns. They don't shoot at him.
Also, how far were they from their, like base? Like, was it a distance that it wouldn't have been problematic? Or it's like, yeah, could you? Maybe they're like, oh, I don't want to like take off and land again. Like, can we just like one shot this? I really gotta pee. Like,
he does say something like it's like what 200 miles from shore or something insane like that.
It's either that or 200 miles from the nearest shipping lane, one or the other.
Or it might have been 20. It might have just been 20 miles.
No, I think it was 200. It was an amount that it's like, oh, even Jason Statham couldn't swim that.
That's true. He's a good swimmer.
Well, I think it's that they're the only ship on this lane
right
now, which again, preposterous.
What a great dig, by the way. It's like, get wrecked. It's the only one fucking ship on this lane. You're fucked.
It's pretty funny if he did that. If like that was his whole plan, jump off the thing, and I'll wait till another boat gets me. But then like they were like, "There's no more boats, buddy." It's over.
What if he did that and they were mocking him, and then he like whistled and Hai Chi?
I kind of thought that would happen.
Surfaced and like let him ride on her dorsal fin.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't be surprised. Also, were they doing that? Like, does he just do that to everybody, or were they specifically going to fuck up the Mariana Trench?
I think it was just generally dumping waste in the ocean. I don't think it was a trench thing.
That makes sense. He's just such a good guy. I
assumed he was doing a full like Metal Gear Solid, take out all the crew, and when he pulled out a camera and was just taking pictures for evidence, I was like, oh, that's honestly way more realistic than I thought this movie would be.
Yeah, and like,
not that it's very realistic.
I mean, he cuts himself out of that thing with a blowtorch, like.
Oh, yeah. Not DJ, sorry. Nando, you wish it was a blowtorch that he did that with. He puts like plastic explosives.
Oh yeah,
around,
that's right.
Like a window cutout, and then detonates them.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking C4 or whatever.
Yeah. It's a how many people do you think we're gonna ship like that? Like 20?
Like more than that. It's a big ship.
It's a big ship. So you could maybe go like, I think he could blend in, like if that was his plan, if he just pretended he was someone that worked there, I think it could have worked. Wouldn't have been able to do all the parkour, but still.
Yeah.
The crew on a bulk carrier typically consists of 20 to 30 people.
There you go. Yeah. And, that's about as many guys as like he fought. in the little scene where he's fighting them all and doing flips and stuff. So I like Jason Statham. I mean, I don't know about like him as a person.
He's so likable.
I do think he's pretty fun in these. I'm trying to think of what else he's in now these days besides the Expendables and the Fast and Furious, I guess.
That is coming out, Expendables 4.
I know. In like
we have month. A lot of like it's a month of just like old guys still got it of action movies. So okay, we had this. We have in 2 weeks the Liam Neeson sits in a car action movie. We have Expendables 4 coming out in September. We have The Equalizer 3 with Denzel.
Not the 3 Equalizer with the 3 in both E spots like it should be.
Yeah.
Cowards.
That's off the top of my head, but I'm sure there's some other one I'm like missing or whatever. But yeah, we got a lot of old guys still got it action movies.
Which of the 4 Jason Statham movies of this year do you think is the best? You have this, you have the Expendables 4, you have his cameo in the Fast movies, which like I don't know about cameo, but it was like he was in it. Then you have Operation Fortune Ruse de Guerre. Remember that? That came out this year. One. Yeah, maybe that was
good. He never
good.
Did that movie?
No, we didn't.
Did any of you watch it?
I thought about it the other day because I was like kind of curious. But he's, I don't know. I like him in these. I like this cast in general. I think they were all fine. The ones that were fine, and he was good, and that's all it takes.
Yeah, agreed.
I think the sharks all looked okay.
Yeah, it's very varying in sizes. Just
I like that they made the big evil one like a Greenland shark, like it's all fucked up, and old. I wish that shark did anything in the entire movie, but what are you gonna do?
Did you have a favorite individual moment from this movie?
The helicopter bit's pretty fun. Like that's one that you're like, oh, we're getting a lot of different shit in this movie.
Yeah, and speaking of things that are particularly balanced or else they don't fly, helicopters one where like I don't think you could cut even one little tentacle off before that whole thing flips over and explodes. But
yeah,
that's true. Very true.
What about you, Diggins? Did you have a moment that stuck out to you, something you liked besides the suntan lotion, man?
Besides the suntan lotion. Oh, so it's hard mode then.
Yeah.
I guess I liked when Zhu Ming was fighting the octopus and he like goes down with his big dumb bomb and the octopus screams in his face.
Oh yeah, that was wild.
It was very silly.
It is weird that they did that. I liked when the octopus almost killed the Meg, but then it didn't. I was like, oh, it killed the Meg, and then the Meg was fine. I don't want to say you guys are both wrong, but you're wrong. The best shot in this movie is that shot where we're in the Meg's mouth as it's eating guys. That was incredible. Yeah. Like so good. One of the best. And that was the moment where the movie started going for me, because that was one of the first things it does when it hits Fun Island. And I was like, oh my God, if the whole movie was this, it would be the best. And like, it doesn't all have to be, crazy gore, but just if it was all at this like atmosphere kind of level, we would have a great time.
Good vibe.
You know what the problem for me with that scene is, Nando?
Not enough blood?
In the trailer.
Oh, no. This is why you can't watch.
Ruined by the trailer,
watch
man.
this trailer.
You ruined.
Because, that bit's so good.
It's 90% the end of the movie. It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. So that is what I would use to sell this movie to people.
Yeah, that's the good part of the movie, so I guess so.
So no trench. There's no trench.
Yeah.
There is no trench in that trailer. I watched that trailer and I was like, where does the trench come in?
And these trailers came out before all the fun trench news of the year. And like, you could say there's a version of this movie where, like the submarine thing kind of changes the marketing of this, but that's probably not what happened.
What if a version of this movie where they're in their big subs and then like one tiny thing goes out of place and they all implode and die?
Yeah.
And you're like, well, that's what deep sea diving be like.
That'd be pretty good. Oh, you're right about the trailer. This is rough. This also showed another bit that I'd kind of forgotten about. When the blonde girl gets eaten. Remember that? When she's like, oh yeah, I think this is totally safe because there's lots of Meg-proof glass here. Look, and then the Meg just jumps through it.
That's a wild thing to get spoiled.
Yeah, that's no fun. Yeah, because then she's bad. I mean, if you have to really be paying attention to give a shit about who's saying what lines in the Meg trailer. But
Yeah, no, I really wasn't paying that much. But when I first saw that trailer, I was like, wow, this is like a really mean death for just some random girl on her phone.
Yeah. There's a bunch of moments where like Jason Statham is like inches from one of these things too. Like, and there's a couple of these in the trailer, but like he gets so close to being eaten by a Meg. It's crazy. Like that bit where he's on the dock and the Meg is tied to the ground by weights. And it's just like he is literally
Sonic
using
Adventure
his
2 moment.
Yeah, he's
running
using
across
his
the
foot to
dock as
push.
Meg destroys it.
It's incredible.
Well, I mean, he does with his own strength impale a Meg on a helicopter blade.
Oh my god, I
Which
forgot
incredible.
about that. You're right. That was incredible. Man, watch this trailer is really helpful for remembering stuff. Remember when the daughter tries to jump on the helicopter and then doesn't?
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
That's in the trailer?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I know, and you even see, because this isn't me just watching that scene and remembering it, you see her miss his hand, and like, yeah, they show all of it. They
That's
show the big
crazy.
explosion and then him jumping into the helicopter. They show it all. Yeah, because remember he like uses gas to fight those little guys.
Yeah.
It was awesome, like Zoolander. If it was cool.
Yeah, he has a gas fight.
Yeah, it works. Yeah, this movie, I don't know. It's yeah. The end bit is fun. I think if anybody has an opportunity to see just the end bit, I'd say take it. You'll have a good time.
Yeah, if you're going to like an event where someone comes up on stage and for like 1 or 2 minutes briefly describes the first 2/3
Yeah.
of Act 2, and then you just watch the last third, I think that would be worth it.
Absolutely. Because yeah, it's pretty good. And it's pretty, you know, and like knowing, you don't need to know who Montez is or any of this bullshit. You can just kind of put it together.
No. Yeah, you'll figure it out. Don't worry.
Don't worry. I didn't know who anyone was in this movie at any point.
Yeah.
I just
You don't
kind of
even need
I eventually just stopped wondering.
You don't even need to see the first movie.
I didn't.
It's all here.
Yeah. It seems like this is profitable too. And not like fake profitable, like people would say on Instagram, real profitable. Like it made money.
Real profitable.
So
You don't think that they're gonna make tons of money off of the Meg toys?
I mean, I do think the Meg toy. I would buy an action figure of one of these guys, a DJ action figure with condoms and a big gun.
Oh my god,
that would be fantastic. It is a little backpack, but I think this movie cost about 120-ish million to make, something like that, and it made easily more than that, like 200+ million. And these movies do very well in China. I want to say it was maybe like the 7th or 8th highest grossing movie of the year it came out. The first one, like it's weird. Not weird. It's exactly what it's built to do. But like, so let's say we got a Meg 3. What do you think it'll be?
Oh my gosh. We need to go beyond. Like we need, I don't know, like we need different creatures. Like maybe the spawn of that big octopus.
Yeah.
Or we turn it into like Godzilla v Mothra and it's like Meg v Octopus or something.
Yeah.
Right? Isn't that what this has to go next?
No, I think you could do that. I do think you need to maintain the wateriness of it.
Yeah.
And that has to be what kind of separates it from. But like the last movie also ends with the Meg going to like a beach town. And then it's like, oh shit, we gotta make sure it doesn't get everybody at this beach. Like, what other places are it like have water and people to get eaten by the Meg? Like, could it go to like SeaWorld? No. Like Venice? Could the Meg tear up Venice or something?
They need the Meg to like evolve somehow.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, now the Meg can like can just like mutate and be like a little kaiju, grow like arms and legs.
See, you could do that. I do think if that happened, that one would be the bad one. I do think we'll also get hero Megs in the next one, like full on good guys.
Yeah.
Like I said, Jason Statham has to learn to trust because he hates Meg so much.
Yeah, he has to learn to befriend Hai Chi.
Yeah, 100%. And the little girl can do it too. She can be a Meg rider or something, kind of like the same way that wasn't that a part of like the Godzilla one? It's like there was a little girl who was friends with King Kong or something.
Yeah,
Pretty sure that happened. So I'm surprised they didn't do that with her. Honestly, she didn't really have any purpose in this movie. She was just there. But like, yeah, I'm surprised she wasn't raised with the Meg, so the Meg and her had a special bond.
She was there so that instead of giving Jason Statham a personality or a character arc beyond what he brings as an actor, you could look at her and be like, he is dad. I understand.
Yeah. There was that.
He is dadding right now.
There'd be that point where someone would say, this entire submarine is going to blow up. And she would say, and even my daughter. And you would go, now those are personal stakes. I care about what's going on here.
And then you ask, so I don't fully understand. Like, did you and Sidian get married and she's your stepdaughter?
Yeah.
Are you just like her friend that she, for some reason, gave her child to instead of her brother? Like, what's the situation here?
Yeah, I don't know.
Did you steal her?
She doesn't call you dad.
Right.
So, like, but she also only met you when she was older. So even if you were her stepdad, she might not do that.
We need like a Matt Gaetz Nestor post that just completely explains the relationship between Jason Statham and the little girl.
How did you end up being this little girl's legal guardian?
Yeah.
Is he her legal guardian?
He acts like it.
I have to assume, if he's not, who is?
The uncle, right?
I mean, maybe, but
she spends all her time with him.
Yeah, I think it's got to be him.
Telling her what she can and can't do and stuff.
Yeah, if anything, the uncle does seem like crazy uncle, whatever, who's, going to go die in a mega explosion next week. So, like, he would not get custody of this kid. But, yeah, I don't know.
I do have to say, it's not the craziest, but my favorite Zhu Ming tries to die moment is when he's waving the light at the Megs as they're running towards the mining station. And Jason Statham comes up to him and is like, why you trying to die, you idiot? And just shoots the light somewhere else.
Yeah.
That's a great one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That bit was funny. I think that guy was okay. Whatever that actor's name was. Let's see. That actor's name is Jing Woo. That's all right.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever seen him in anything before. He's in Wolf Warrior 2. Which I remember was like one of the highest grossing movies ever made or something like that at the time. So
I heard it's way better than Wolf Warrior 1.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I bet this guy is like humongously popular. Like he's the hottest shit on earth, and we just have no idea who he is. Oh yeah, and The Wandering Earth. That's another. See, these are all names of movies that I'm like, I've seen this on lists of like highest grossing movies of X year. That I just skip right by because I don't know what this is, but yeah, it was fun. I liked his vibe of like, just get do some Meg stuff. I don't know. Yeah. Jump in the Meg tank, see what happens. Maybe it eats me. Maybe everybody has to watch me die, or maybe I get to show them that I can do the clicking thing.
It's a real grab bag.
Yeah. Do you guys have any other Meg thoughts?
Is it woke?
Oh God, is it woke? Can a movie like this be woke?
Right.
Yeah, like what would be woke about it?
So it's pro-China. Does that factor in at all?
I honestly don't know what that means for wokeness these days. It's so hard. Well, TikTok and all that stuff, that was what kind of we know how people feel about that based on their, your Matt Gaetz's and stuff.
I got one. The American guys in camo are bad. Woke.
Yeah, but guns saved the day. Not woke. Like everybody's shooting and exploding and stuff. I don't know.
Also, the only one of those guys with a name is Montez.
That's right.
Hispanic.
Yeah, I feel like there's enough of that too. There's enough of like, I mean, business people are bad though. That's kind of woke, I guess. I don't know. That's a close thing yet to it.
Only business people who do evil business things, because Zhu Ming is a businessman and he's good. Yeah,
like he's a businessman technically, but we never see him do any business things whatsoever. Like, yeah, I don't know. Is this movie woke? No romance really whatsoever in this movie.
Yeah,
so that helps, or it doesn't help at all.
Which makes it incel. So is that, I don't know.
I mean, you do have that
Jason
bit.
Statham's an incel.
I mean, you could say it's like I could see someone saying it's anti big disgusting white men at a beach. It's like it's made to make us, guys asking the women to put the oil on us looks like fools. So that makes it woke a little bit.
Also, pro-environmentalism so woke.
Yeah, I guess that is kind of woke. But sharks are not woke. They just can't be. I don't buy it.
Sharks are not woke.
Yeah.
If there's wokeness in this movie, it comes from somewhere else.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I guess it does seem to imply that deep sea mining is bad for reasons that nobody ever really gets into.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of vagaries.
Yeah, that's the trouble with this movie is it doesn't take any stances on anything or whatever. It just has no.
Except that megalodons eat people, and that's bad.
Yeah, they will get you eventually.
It is bad.
It sucks. I mean, it's kind of cool though.
It's woke because it cares about the sanctity of human life.
Does it though?
I mean, more than not at all.
Yeah, it's fair.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this movie is not woke.
I'm gonna qualify this. I'm gonna say it is not woke, but a right winger might still get mad about it because of the China stuff, which is a separate issue.
Yeah,
that's true.
And that does complicate all of it. That's fine. I mean, I don't even know what a woke Meg movie would look like. Would it be like the Meg's, like would Jason Statham have to like beat up
Haichi in the next movie transitions into a male Meg, and Jason Statham says, "Now that this is a trans megalodon, that means it's good because I only think trans people are good."
Yeah, that is what it would do. Actually, that is what a woke Meg movie would look like. It's what we deserve. All right, you guys want to get to our classic segment?
Yeah,
let's do this.
I would love that.
You have anything to recommend to the fine people, DJ?
I do. So I got a few things. So I'm going to co-sign on to Diggins' rec of Baldur's Gate 3 from last week because it is amazing and I love it so much. I smooched a Mind Flayer and loved every second of it. So that's great. I watched the Johnny Manziel documentary on Netflix, the Untold series, which I've talked about that series before. But they released a new batch. And one of them was the Johnny Manziel story. It was interesting. I feel like most of these, which I should learn the lesson, not that it's bad, but if you followed this stuff closely, there's not much new here. He does talk about like some of his personal stuff. Like apparently at one point he like tried to commit suicide but failed, obviously, and that was pretty insane. Some of the partying stuff he did, like at the time with like Drake and Jay-Z and getting into all that stuff, and like his like Uncle Nate, who's actually a kid. This was an interesting one. So there was like, so he had like a lot of money from signing memorabilia, but that's not allowed by NCAA rules. You can't profit off of signing your own name, which is just fucking bananas.
Yeah.
So, but he was like doing all these things like courtside at Knicks games and hanging out with all these like, you know, rappers and famous people, and his like crew just like fed to the media, oh, he came from oil money, his family's rich, and it was just blatantly untrue. Like it was not true at all.
Oh.
They just said it for like the optics of like how he was able to like do all these things that would have been expensive and drive nice cars and shit. So that was interesting. So if you're really into sports, it's definitely worth a watch. And also I started watching an anime, really guys, really niche anime here. Have you heard of this? Called Demon Slayer, as if it weren't like one of those popular animes right now.
No, I've never heard of it.
Yeah, what's
I've
it
never
about?
Heard of it, or it's Pighead Boy.
Yeah. Well, it and the Pighead Boy are good, and you know, I don't know if I need to sell Demon Slayer. It's like one of those popular animes out there, but I did start watching it, and it is quite good. So yeah, animation's beautiful, so lives up to the hype, I would say. You can watch it on Netflix.
Do they slay any demons?
They slay so many demons, and
Cool,
honestly,
cool.
some of those demons can slay. So, it's a real gotcha party. So, yeah, those are my recs. Diggins, what about you?
I watched a little movie this past week. Movie that, for some reason, Nando, I feel like you have some affinity for. Correct me if I'm wrong. Old movie starring a young up-and-coming actor by the name of Leonardo DiCaprio. And another virtual unknown by the name of Tom Hanks.
Oh, sure.
I speak, of course, of Catch Me If You Can.
I mean, I think that movie's great and nice and long, way too long, but good instead of bad. And a huge lie, apparently. None of it's true.
The guy it's about lied about everything. Nothing that he's ever said he's done is true. Pretty much.
Yeah, love that.
But the movie's fine because it's just a movie.
Yeah,
you can just be like, this is fictional. Yeah, so I watched Catch Me If You Can for the first time, actually. I was aware of it. It's one of my mom's favorite movies.
Really?
So I'd seen bits and pieces of it growing up when she would like have it on. But I never actually sat down and watched the whole thing. So I finally did that. And it's a great movie. It's a Spielberg about Frank Abagnale Jr., who, again, all of this is not true for the real life guy. But in the movie, he's like, he runs away from home when he's like 17 and becomes a prolific con man who forges like tons of checks to get money and pretends to be an airline pilot and a doctor and a lawyer and like, tricks a bunch of people into letting him do those jobs even though he has no qualifications. And it's just about him sort of like getting deeper and deeper into this life while Tom Hanks plays an FBI agent who's chasing him. And it's really good. I mean, Tom Hanks and Leonardo DiCaprio are both very charming actors who sell those characters really well. Leo, it's especially important for Leo because like everything he's doing sucks. He's just like a bad person. But because it's young Leonardo DiCaprio and he has those boyish good looks and everything, he seems innocent enough where you'll forgive him for it.
Yeah, and his dad is Christopher Walken. So he like, he knows what's coming. So he's like, I gotta do all the crimes I can before I turn to Christopher Walken, the most conspicuous man alive.
Someone early in the movie tells him, "You're looking more and more like your dad every day." And he's like, "Oh no, I've got to get all my crimes in now."
Yeah. Who else is in that? Amy Adams has a fun little part in that.
Yeah, that pre-famous Amy Adams.
Yeah,
that's like one of her first big roles.
Mm-hmm.
Pre-Office Amy Adams?
Right around Office Amy Adams, yeah. She's in like
Amy
the
Adams
third
in the Office.
She's in the fourth episode, or she's the purse salesman.
She's like Jim's first girlfriend in the show.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant she had like some big role in the Office.
Yeah, she plays Dwight.
Okay.
She was in the Meg 1, actually. She's very good in it.
Oh, wow. Huh.
Yeah, who else is in
Yeah, she played Dr. Demento in the Weird Al movie.
That's right, yeah. I saw an article about that the other day. Who else is in this movie? I'm looking at it. Oh, yeah, Martin Sheen. Yeah.
Yeah, Martin Sheen is Amy Adams' dad. Yeah, so great cast. And just like light enough to like breeze along and be fun, but also like serious enough where when the movie wants you to feel emotions, it can do that. Yeah, it's a Spielberg movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's that perfect light tone with enough seriousness. So yeah, just that's a really great movie that I enjoyed watching. What about you, Nando? Anything to rec?
I watched a couple movies or did some things, watched some things. But by the way, real quick, because I know I said this and I was like, man, did I say this? And someone's going to be like, actually, you're way wrong about it. I said that Wolf Warrior 2 is one of the highest grossing movies of the year it came out. It came out in 2017. It is the 9th highest grossing worldwide movie of the whole year. So it made more money worldwide than Wonder Woman or Coco or Justice League. Like that's how big of a movie star this guy is. Anyway, I know,
I mean,
right?
It sounds like the thing you said is correct.
I was right. Yeah. I'm not sure about that Wandering Earth one, but definitely that first one. What did I watch? Speaking of movies that people saw, maybe I watched the Heart of Stone movie on Netflix. I don't even know. This is a subgenre now. The straight to streaming one big megastar spy movie that's boring. Yeah, like a Red Notice. It's a Ghosted. It's a Gray Man. We've got another entry into that, and it is this one. I do think this movie has it's called The Heart of Stone. Bizarre title because her last name is Stone, but also she's part of a secret organization of like Kingsmen, basically, that identify themselves by playing cards. So she is the 9 of Hearts. So you'd figure, oh, that's why the movie's called Heart of Stone. But no. They're also after an AI machine called The Heart. And that's maybe why it's called Heart of Stone. I don't know. It's really weird. It's funny because the one thing about it that's interesting, and it's not good because it's like just boring. It's fine. These are all fine. But she is a spy working for like the CIA or something. But she's really working for like the Kingsmen. But so the CIA thinks she's just a normal desk jockey, and she goes on a mission and trips, and then everybody goes in front of her, and then she like puts an earpiece in and gets a big wingsuit and flies around and does crazy shit. So like it's like True Lies, but if he was also a spy as his day job, but less of a spy. It's really weird.
I was gonna say, it sounds like a real hat on a hat.
It is 100%. And at a certain point, you're just like, none of these people matter. And also like there's so many weird little characters in it that don't matter. And it's just like not fun, right? There's like one bit that reminded me of this. This is not a wreck where like Gal Gadot manages to zip line or something onto a truck. And then the guy driving the truck has like a silly moment where he looks to his right and she is hanging off of like the side of the truck. And you've like a moment, just one, like, and it's supposed to be fun. And she says like, I need to borrow your truck or something. But you know, a movie like that, like Arnold Schwarzenegger's character would just make a face and say like, hi, or something like that. Like, it's just a specific kind of person. I don't know if we have an Arnold these days, but you need somebody like that to salvage one of these movies. You can't put a huge Hollywood, hunky megastar in there. It just doesn't work. That being said, I also watched some of Good Omens season 2. We finished that this week. Still pretty good. It's not my favorite show, but it's good. It sets up a third season that I'm not sure if will happen or not, but it's a fun little pitch. John Hamm's in this one. He's kind of fun. I will say the big thing I'm recommending this week that I know I started, I don't think I recommended last week, was Only Murders in the Building is back. I don't know if either of you guys watched that.
Nope.
I do not, but I'm aware of it.
It's fun. And like, I think you could really start with episode like season 3 if you wanted to, but like the fun part. Yeah, I'll say it. I don't care. So kind of spoilers for Only Murders in the Building, end of season 2. Although this really doesn't get any of the murder stuff, just kind of the setup for season 3. And the whole thing is like, there's a play because Martin Short's character, it's Martin Short, Steve Martin, which I always think it's weird that they're friends and they both have Martin in their name, but whatever. Steve Martin Short and then Selena Gomez are like the three guys. Martin Short's guy is a playwright, producer, man about town, all that stuff. So he has a new play starring Paul Rudd as an actor, obviously not Paul Rudd, but who's playing a shithead who gets murdered, and he's the guy that was murdered. And it's funny to watch Paul Rudd be unlikable. It's like Bobby Newport, I guess, is the only other version that I can think of from like Parks and Rec, but even that was kind of a likable unlikable. This guy just sucks.
Bobby Newport wasn't a jerk.
Exactly.
He was just an idiot.
So it's funny. I think it's fun. Besides all the other parts of the show that are good, and like the cast, this is the season with Meryl Streep. There's a lot of stuff in there that's like that works. But I'm enjoying seeing him in this, just being a real piece of work. That said, we're only a couple episodes in, so I don't want to say fully wreck it, but it's good. And then also Baldur's Gate. I know I said it was bad last week, but in fact, it's good. I put in more time in than I should have.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
They got him. The sickos got me. And I think part of it is that once I figured out how some of the stuff worked, the combat and that became more fun, but also like just figuring out what I'm actually supposed to be doing and like what some of my goals are made it a little better. So yeah, we like that. We all play it now. I mean, some more than others, but like eventually we'll all be done with it, I guess. But then maybe we'll do like some sort of streams or something. I don't know. Seems like it will be a very streamable game with lots of potential for stuff like that.
I will say, I tried to stream it, and my computer, while it can run Baldur's Gate 3, cannot run Baldur's Gate 3 and stream it. But if we're playing together, we only need one person to be streaming.
Yeah, I think my PC could probably do it. I haven't tried it, but I have a feeling I could swing it. Speaking of things, what are we going to do next week?
Wait, hold on, Nando. Now that you're here with us sickos, who you trying to kiss?
Oh my God. I mean, listen, at this point, it's not about that. It's about who is not getting fired from the party this week for being a big old weirdo. Every character, right? As
no one?
Yeah, honestly, like right as I start to like them, and I'm like, you know what? This is my new guy. This is my friend, or this is the one who's going to stick with me, and all the rest of these guys. Honestly, if I'm looking at not to spoil anything or like get into anybody's business, but Karlak seems to be the most well-adjusted member of my crew at this point. So that's like, because everybody else, man, just it's like you get a little bit far in the story and then they pull you aside. But by the way, I'm a real weirdo. I'm gonna ruin this whole thing for you. You ready for that? Like, no. At least with Karlak, it's like, yeah, I'm a devil. I don't know, whatever. Let's go do it. She's got a good vibe. But yeah, no, big fan. But we'll see. I mean, I'm at the end of the first act, so yeah, got a lot of game left. Apparently, there are other party members I can get that I don't even have yet. So, knock on wood, we'll see. What was I gonna say? What are we doing next week?
Is it the Blue Beetle?
That's him, the Blue Beetle. We have to say it in some weird
Apparently.
accent, but what is it? Who knows? We don't know. We're all doing like Pink Panther.
I'm not going to try because
Hamburger.
that would be a little iffy.
I mean,
Well,
listen.
I can do Blue Beetle. I can do that. You guys ready? You guys ready for my Blue Beetle impression?
I absolutely know what you're about to do, but do it.
I am equipped with an array of weapons that is at your disposal. Let me know what you want to use, Jaime Reyes.
All the listeners out there who knew that this is what he was about to do, please raise your hands.
I'm sure we'll get to it in the episode, but like, man, it's supposed to be a monster. And maybe it's just that we already did Venom and we can't do Venom again. But like, just do Venom again. Don't do Siri. It's weird that it's Siri. But yeah, we'll be doing Blue Beetle next week. The second to last movie in the DCEU, and maybe the first one in the new one, unless nobody likes it. Then who knows? Until then, do either of you guys have anything to plug? DJ?
Just the same roses and rejections as we reach the finale of charity season of The Bachelorette. Not pretty good season. Not too bad. So yeah, it's been good.
The first season DJ has ever said wasn't trash.
That's true.
It's true. And Golden Bachelor is on his way. I'm seeing billboards now.
Yeah. Are you going to watch
No,
that?
but unless it's amazing, then I just want them to sneak in 2 younger women, right? Like two regular Bachelor contestants. One's like a complete mess, like Airhead. Obviously, he's supposed to get rid of her in the first week to prove he's a good person. But then that second one's able to sneak around for a while and just destroy the whole show. I think that would be very fun.
Okay.
Unless they do that, though, I'm probably not gonna be down.
Gotcha.
What about you, Diggins? Anything to plug?
No, not really. What about you, DJ?
What?
By DJ, I of course mean Nando.
Yeah.
You guys don't know my secret code by
DJ
now?
of the Sea. What do I have? Videos out. I put out my Midnight Suns casting video. I've got other stuff that's going to come out. I put out we didn't talk about this, but it's weird how Gal Gadot had like a Wonder Woman movie, both like greenlit and ungreenlit within about a day of each other. So I did a video on the Nando cut about that. And I've got another one coming out soon. This kind of the Midnight Suns wrap up. But yeah, just the usual stuff, YouTube and all that. Yeah, until next week for Blue Beetle, I'm at Nando V Movies on Twitter and X and Blue Sky and whatever.
I'm at Zippy by Day, wherever.
I'm at This Is an Odd Name, if you can find me.
Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.